When you know the ending of your life, would you choose to let fate control you? Bebe Ya is a princess with royal blood, but at only 10 years old, she has been wandering the streets, in tattered clothes, barely surviving. Give a little heart to comfort Bebe Ya. Finally one day, her identity was discovered, and she returned to the palace. Just when everyone thought Bebe Ya would live a happy life, little did they know a huge conspiracy was waiting for her. That day, the emperor needed a princess as a sacrifice. Now she has two choices. One is the cherished but unrelated fake princess Lillian, and the other is his long-lost biological daughter Bebe Ya. What choice will the emperor make? Suddenly, with a bang, a slender little hand closed the book in front of her. Although the emperor ultimately chose Lillian as the sacrifice, Lillian ended up surviving, while Bebe Ya couldn't escape death. But now I am this Bebe Ya. What's going on? The girl was driven crazy. How did I inexplicably transmigrate into this book? This is too miserable. She pondered. To hell with fate. I want to survive. I'll show you all. At this moment, Lisa Bell opened the door, asking if the princess was ready. Bebe Ya immediately got into character, smiling at Lisa Bell. Sister, where are we going now? Lisa Bell told her they were going to see His Majesty the King. Lisa Bell's sister picked up the princess and started walking out, but Bebe Ya said she was already 10 years old and didn't need to be carried. Just as they were about to walk out of the room, a small hand stopped them. He said, I wonder where this commoner's stench is coming from? Oh, it's you who came out. From that contemptuous look, it's clear this is the inarticulate second brother, Gino. When faced with an intentionally affected voice, don't you want to give him a slap like I do? Bebe Ya was originally a true princess, but was switched at birth and wandered outside for 10 years. Finally back in the palace, she's not only despised by her second brother but also threatened by the green tea bitch Lillian. Give a little heart to encourage Bebe Ya. Facing her second brother's disdain, Bebe Ya didn't tolerate it at all. She mocked her second brother as golden shit, saying he smelled of manure. Seeing her second brother gritting his teeth in anger, she turned away proudly with Lisa Bell. They came before the emperor, and Bebe Ya's pupils dilated. This man is so handsome. Daddy, this is so delicious. Come try it. Who is this coquettish and exaggerated voice? It can't be the green tea bitch Lillian, right? The affected voice is really disgusting. At this time, the emperor asked Lillian to take this opportunity to get to know Bebe Ya, but Lillian put on a cute act, just wanting daddy to hold her. After the emperor refused her, she became even more coquettish. God, if I have sinned, please punish me with the law. Don't torture me with this affected voice. In the end, the emperor couldn't resist and picked her up. Lillian looked at Bebe Ya maliciously. Who is she? Lillian heard someone was going to compete for her princess position and started crying loudly. The emperor, having other matters to attend to, instructed her to greet Bebe Ya before leaving. But in the next second, Lillian revealed her evil face. She warned Bebe Ya not to dream of stealing her position. However, Bebe Ya expressed no interest in her position, advising her not to be so full of herself. Just as the two were secretly competing, the eldest brother Eltarian walked in. Seeing the eldest brother, Lillian immediately went forward asking for a hug, but the eldest brother didn't seem to fall for her act. The true princess who wandered outside returns to the palace, only to be threatened by the vicious fake princess. Unexpectedly, the eldest brother also dislikes Lillian, and they actually became friends. Little did she know this eldest brother is a narcissist. When the emperor told him that the little girl before him was his own sister, the eldest brother was shocked. The emperor advised the eldest brother to get along well, only because he hadn't decided which one to be the sacrifice yet. The eldest brother thought, I hope it's her who gets chosen. Suddenly, with a bang, the door opened. It was that annoying second brother. He entered calling Lillian's name, acting as if they were long-lost relatives reuniting. Such fake acting. Bebe Ya looked at this seemingly happy family, but thought to herself, I don't want to get involved. This way I can escape disaster. At this moment, the eldest brother suddenly turned his head. He actually called me a street pickup? How rude. If you don't know how to address me properly, just shut up. This is so annoying. Why isn't there a single normal person in this family? The emperor asked the eldest brother to take Bebe Ya back to her room. The eldest brother walked in front of them. He deliberately quickened his pace. Bebe Ya couldn't keep up and had to trot along. Seeing this, the eldest brother not only didn't slow down to wait for Bebe Ya, but taunted, did you glue your feet to the ground? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? It's better when these two don't talk. Once they open their mouths, they start bickering. Bebe Ya panted heavily. Brother, you can go now. But the eldest brother bent down and asked Bebe Ya, "Is it because I'm too handsome that you're feeling shy?" Bebe Ya quickly retorted angrily, "You're such a narcissist." Bebe Ya finally breathed a sigh of relief after sending the eldest brother away. But in the next second, a series of urgent knocks came at the door. Even though she was the true foreign princess, she was continuously bullied. The second brother pushed open the door and shouted, "Commoner, come out and see me." Bebe Ya looked disdainful. "I'm right here. Are you blind?" The second prince rushed over to hit her, but Lisa Bell stepped forward and stopped him. Bebe Ya just turned to let go of the second brother, because dealing with such a kid was like Zhang Fei eating bean sprouts, a piece of cake. The second brother warned Bebe Ya not to provoke Lillian again, or he wouldn't let her off. Bebe Ya waved her little hand. "I'm not interested in that. I'd be lucky if she doesn't come to bother me. Little brat, hurry up and leave." Hearing his little sister call him a little brat, he cursed angrily. Lillian would never provoke a commoner. Bebe Ya was getting more and more annoyed. "Do you have to drag me down to the level of elementary school quarrels? Fine, I'll satisfy you." A string of beautiful national treasures left the second brother dumbfounded. In the end, he ran away in anger. The maid, worried that Bebe Ya was hurt, came forward to comfort her. But now Bebe Ya would no longer be timid and weak, or bullied by others. Lisa Bell learned that Bebe Ya wanted to go out for a walk, so she recommended going to Princess Rose's courtyard, because Lillian usually doesn't go there. However, as soon as they arrived at the courtyard, they heard a shrill voice, "Daddy, Lillian loves you the most." Lisa Bell immediately apologized, worried that Bebe Ya would be upset. But little did she know, Bebe Ya was thinking, "I hope no one remembers me. Just let me live well on my own." Early the next morning, the eldest brother came to Bebe Ya's room. He told Bebe Ya that Father Emperor wanted to take everyone on a boat ride. When he learned it was Lillian who wanted to play, he was stunned, because he knew that during this time, Lillian would push him into the water. The fake princess tries every way to frame her, while the real princess risks her life jumping into the lake. Bebe Ya was led by the hand by her eldest brother to the lakeside. Bickering all the way, she saw at a glance that Lillian, playing with the second brother, was wearing the same outfit. But it doesn't matter. Matching outfits aren't scary. Whoever looks ugly is the one who should be embarrassed. "I'm the prettier one." The emperor told everyone to get ready to board the boat. Lillian expressed that she couldn't wait anymore. The emperor asked Lillian who she wanted to ride with. She pondered. Although she had already chosen her target, she still pretended to look at the eldest brother. "I really want to ride with Big Brother." The eldest brother said he didn't like water and politely declined. She then looked at the second brother, but he didn't seem to want to ride the boat. Bebe Ya added salt to the wound. "Are you afraid of water?" The second brother, having been seen through, didn't know what to say for a moment. Who knew he would rather die than lose face? Insisting he wasn't afraid of water. But the slap in the face came too quickly. His legs began to shake involuntarily. Seeing that neither the eldest nor the second brother wanted to ride the boat, Lillian pointed her finger at her target for today. Bebe Ya. Bebe Ya's heart skipped a beat. Sure enough, she was about to take action. Then they boarded the same boat. As the boat gradually left the shore, Lillian's true face was revealed. "No one in the palace likes you. If you're smart, you'll leave quickly." But Bebe Ya said, "I don't care whether others like me or not. I won't leave until I achieve my goal." Lillian's face darkened. "Do you want to steal my position?" This sentence made Bebe Ya laugh. "Steal your position? Please, you're the one occupying my position." Lillian seemed to be provoked by these words and lost control of her emotions. She shouted, "Since you don't want to leave on your own, don't blame me for being ruthless." With that, she jumped into the water with a splash. The fake Princess Lillian would drive the real Princess Bebe Ya out of the palace. Using such unscrupulous means, she jumped into the lake wanting to frame Bebe Ya, not knowing that the magic float suddenly malfunctioned. "If you don't court death, you won't die. That must be talking about you." Lillian. Before the two boarded the boat, the emperor personally tied a magic float to Lillian's foot, so she wouldn't drown. This scene was witnessed by Bebe Ya standing nearby. "Who thought, I'm the real princess, aren't I?" As the small boat gradually sailed away from the shore, Lillian unleashed a barrage of words at Bebe Ya, who was equally sharp in response. Seeing Lillian gradually becoming agitated, she leaned her body, looking evilly at Bebe Ya. The motionless Lillian in the water began her performance. "Daddy, save me. Sister pushed me. Bebe Ya on the boat was panicked but with a hint of clarity. Doesn't she have a float? So you're trying to scam. What a vicious woman. I'll just quietly watch your performance. We're too far from the shore. Father Emperor and my brothers can't notice at all. I want to see how long you can keep this up. However, the magic float malfunctioned, and Lillian's body began to sink. Lillian splashed in the water, shouting for help. What great acting. 1 second. Bebe Ya began to realize something was wrong. Lillian might really be drowning. She took off her formal dress and immediately jumped in to save her. At this time, Lillian was still sinking. Bebe Ya had to use a lot of effort to rescue Lillian. As soon as she breathed fresh air, Lillian started screaming again, leaving Bebe Ya no choice but to knock her unconscious. Just then, the guards on shore discovered them. The vicious fake princess originally wanted to frame the real princess Bebe Ya, but who knew that not only did she fail to harm Bebe Ya, she actually made the emperor's impression of Bebe Ya much better. Bebe Ya had just rescued the drowning Lillian when the guards on shore discovered them. The guards immediately jumped into the water to rescue them, and such a commotion also caught the emperor's attention. The guards carried the two princesses ashore and said they had witnessed Bebe Ya saving Lillian. The emperor personally asked Bebe Ya if she had saved Lillian. Bebe Ya calmly said, "I didn't really want to save her. If she had died, I wouldn't have been able to explain myself." At this moment, the annoying second brother came again. "You must have pushed Lillian into the water. Stop pretending to be good." Then, the emperor spoke up for Bebe Ya, telling him not to talk nonsense, and asked the eldest brother to take him away. Bebe Ya deliberately said to the emperor, "Aren't you going to investigate further? Some people still suspect me." The emperor crouched down and said softly to Bebe Ya, "I believe you wouldn't do that." The emperor reached out to pat Bebe Ya's head to comfort her. However, Bebe Ya dodged. The emperor sighed, "Let's have dinner together tonight." Hearing the emperor's invitation, Bebe Ya hurriedly refused. She wanted everyone to dislike her so she could survive. The emperor suddenly became serious. "I am the emperor. You have no right to refuse." Bebe Ya had no choice but to go. Bebe Ya came to the dining table, and the emperor actually asked her to sit next to him. At this moment, both princesses were shocked. The real princess was forced to wander outside for 10 years, and had finally returned to the palace. Faced with the fake princess Lillian's framing, she finally couldn't bear it anymore and decided to fight back. At the table, the emperor ordered the two princesses to be seated. Seeing Bebe Ya sitting next to the emperor, Lillian, feeling wronged, demanded in a shrill voice that she also wanted to sit next to Father Emperor. Who knew she would be refused by the emperor? Bebe Ya sat on the chair, eating the food heartily. "I called you here today to meet your fiancé." "What?" Bebe Ya almost choked to death on her food. She was stunned for a moment before remembering that this fiancé was indeed mentioned in the book. However, he was Lillian's little fanboy. A red-haired boy appeared before her eyes. Edward happily asked, "Can I finally get engaged to Princess Lillian?" When he learned that he was to be engaged to Princess Bebe Ya, he was instantly shocked, furious, and looked at Bebe Ya with hostility. Bebe Ya's face was full of disdain. "Little brat. Not attractive at all. You think I want this?" At this moment, the green tea Lillian pretended to comfort Edward. "I'm so sad that I can't be with brother." Her poor acting skills and Lillian's little scheme had long been seen through by Bebe Ya. "Isn't it just that you don't want me to have a good life?" Edward asked the emperor. "Why is it Bebe Ya and not Lillian?" Before the emperor could speak, Bebe Ya loudly told him, "Because she's the fake princess, and I'm the real one." Is that reason enough? The fake Princess Lillian had been making things difficult for the real Princess Bebe Ya, but unexpectedly, the real princess's one sentence directly knocked down the fake princess. Hearing Bebe Ya's powerful response to Edward, "Because she's the fake princess, and I'm the real one. Is that reason enough?" At that moment, everyone present was stunned, because they never expected that the timid and weak Bebe Ya could give such a sharp answer. Edward was unfortunate. He looked at Lillian, who had lowered her head, and asked Bebe Ya what she meant. Bebe Ya again powerfully answered, "If you want to know what it means, why don't you just ask Lillian directly?" Lillian was so angry she gritted her teeth, but she could only explain with a wronged expression in her shrill voice, "Lillian is the princess." Bebe Ya sneered, "Let's see what other tricks you have. Are you going to cry, make a scene, and threaten suicide again?" Then, she stood up and ran towards the door crying. After a few steps, her body began to sway and she fell down. Fortunately, the maid caught her. Seeing this, the emperor immediately picked up Lillian and walked towards the door. Bebe Ya turned to the eldest brother and said, "You're eating so comfortably. Aren't you going to check on Lillian?" The eldest brother said there was no need. He preferred to look at Bebe Ya, his real sister. The eldest brother brought over a plate of pudding to comfort Bebe Ya, who also fell into the water. "Have some pudding to calm down." Bebe Ya suddenly questioned her eldest brother. "Something unusual must be up. Why are you suddenly so gentle and biased?" The emperor doted on the fake princess and specifically named the real princess Bebe Ya to apologize to the fake princess Lillian and ask for forgiveness. Since the last time Bebe Ya boldly exposed Lillian's identity as a fake princess, there had been a rare period of peace. On this day, while she was playing with her cute little bear, the emperor suddenly appeared in Bebe Ya's room. He asked if he could come in and stay for a while. The maid hurriedly came forward to welcome him. Nothing happens without a reason. Why did the eldest brother and the second brother come too? It must be nothing good. The emperor, like Tang Sang, mumbled a lot, but the last sentence, hoping that Bebe Ya could get along well with her family, got to the point. The clever Bebe Ya seemed to have already sensed the emperor's motive. She directly said to the emperor, "If you have something to say, just say it." The emperor lowered his head. "Lillian misses you, and has already forgiven you, hoping you'll reconcile with Lillian." Hearing this, Bebe Ya finally couldn't suppress her inner universe. "Forgive me? Everything I said was the truth. What's there to forgive?" Seeing that Bebe Ya couldn't be persuaded, the emperor directly picked her up when she wasn't paying attention. Bebe Ya struggled hard, but how could she overpower the emperor? So she could only be forced to comply. They came to Lillian's room. As soon as the door opened, they saw a maid who was full of hostility towards Bebe Ya, saying Princess Lillian doesn't like others entering her room. The emperor was furious. "Are you trying to set rules for me?" At this moment, Bebe Ya suddenly remembered. If she wasn't mistaken, this maid who was so bold should be Lillian's birth mother, right? Not destined to be a princess, but with a princess complex. The fake princess was not only a green tea bitch, but also acted pretentiously, and even wanted to order the real princess to do things for her. A second ago she heard Father Emperor's voice and excitedly called out, "Dad," but the next second, she saw Bebe Ya in Father Emperor's arms. The smile on her face immediately disappeared. Questioning Father Emperor, "Why did you carry Bebe Ya over?" "I just said bring her over. I didn't say carry her over." This green tea personality was truly embodied by Lillian to the fullest. The emperor got angry and shouted at Lillian, "Why do you always make unreasonable demands?" Hearing Father Emperor scold her, she actually started to throw a tantrum. Well, the emperor could only put Bebe Ya down. He explained to Bebe Ya. Bebe Ya appeared very polite at this time. "It's okay. I'm a child with legs." Lillian beside was crying her eyes out. The second brother, seeing this, immediately went to comfort Bebe Ya, covering his ears. "Your conversation is really hurting my ears." The eldest brother couldn't stand it anymore, and directly asked Lillian, "Have you had enough of this tantrum? Did you call everyone here to watch you cry and make a scene?" Lillian then restrained herself a bit. She immediately changed to another face. "Bea, listen carefully. I have already forgiven you, so from now on you must come whenever I call. Understand?" Bebe Ya sneered. "Are you daydreaming? Or have you gone mad? You think you're the real princess. So you really are the real princess? I think you still want to pretend to faint in front of everyone, just like at dinner last time." The green tea act doesn't work anymore. She made unreasonable demands, was scolded by Father Emperor, despised by the eldest brother, and finally turned her fire on Bebe Ya, wanting the real princess to obey her every word. But unexpectedly, she was mocked by Bebe Ya, saying she was dreaming, when she was still pretending to have made concessions. Bebe Ya had already seen through her scheme. "Stop being crazy. You think everyone can't see that you're pretending to faint? Even if you fooled everyone else. Sorry, you can't fool me." Bebe Ya said loudly. "When you fell, afraid of really getting hurt, you used your hand to support yourself on the ground, and secretly opened your eyes to observe the surroundings." Hearing this, Lillian looked panicked, and her speech became stuttered. Then Bebe Ya told Lillian that she actually didn't see clearly. But with this sudden accusation, Lillian had revealed everything herself. To frame Bebe Ya by putting on such an act, it's really shameful. Done. Bebe Ya turned to leave. No matter how Lillian called, Bebe Ya didn't look back. At this moment, Lillian's personal maid shouted from behind, "I heard all your conversation. Please show some respect to Princess Lillian." Bebe Ya turned her head. Aren't you just Lillian's birth mother? What's so great about that? I guess you're worried about your daughter's position being threatened. Ride glared at Bebe Ya. Aren't you just a beggar from the street? Bebe Ya leaned close to the maid's ear. If I hadn't been switched by someone back then, how would I have become a beggar? Do you know who that person is? Ridebull. The fake princess's princess complex has reached the terminal stage. At 10 years old, she needs to be fed when eating, carried when walking. It's not an exaggeration to say you're a level 10 invalid. Princess Bebe Ya was in a good mood after flipping the green tea. She couldn't wait to have a picnic in the garden. In the garden, she met that man who gave her the teddy bear again, Jenkinson. Jenkinson could help Bebe Ya fulfill one wish. But when Bebe Ya said her wish was to escape from the palace, both Jenkinson and the maid were startled. She wanted to see the outside world. After all, the temple described in the book must be seen. The clever Bebe Ya knew she couldn't directly say she wanted to go to the temple. She quickly came up with the idea of saying she wanted to visit Jenkinson's home, and then go to the temple. Everything was decided so smoothly and happily. Bebe Ya returned to her room and started packing. She took her cute teddy bear, and didn't forget to remind the maid, don't tell Manager Al under any circumstances. The next second, the manager appeared outside the door. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. The manager looked at Bebe Ya awkwardly. His Majesty orders the princess to dine together. Bebe Ya was a bit displeased after hearing this. Using family and affection to emotionally blackmail me. What kind of skill is that? She didn't want to make things difficult for the manager, so she agreed. But as soon as she arrived at the dining room, she saw the eye-searing scene of green tea Lillian. The annoying second brother was feeding Lillian. Doesn't she have hands? At this moment, Bebe Ya noticed an empty seat next to the emperor. It can't be prepared for me, right? Then the emperor gestured for her to come over. Lillian, sitting nearby, glared at Bebe Ya fiercely. This isn't coming to eat. It's simply coming to suffer. The fake princess's green tea skills were truly at the ready. Performance mode activated. Immediately entering the state. At the dining table, the emperor indicated that Bebe Ya could start eating, but she looked unhappy, commanding here and there. Treating me like a puppet? How annoying. Bebe Ya picked up the steak in her hand and started eating big bites. The annoying second brother interjected, complaining that Bebe Ya was just a beggar. But Bebe Ya, facing this little brat's provocation, didn't care at all. The second brother pointed at Bebe Ya's nose. Lillian says you're a fake. Bebe Ya laughed. What nonsense. She looked at Lillian's black face. Whether I'm a fake or not, some people know very well in their hearts. The emperor, watching the children argue back and forth, finally spoke up to stop them. He turned to Bebe Ya and said he would arrange a good teacher to teach her to read. Then the emperor stood up and called Bebe Ya by hand. The eldest brother at the table saw this and quipped, the cold, hard stones outside are much better than those at home. The bootlicking second brother came online again to complain that the eldest brother called Lillian a stone. Lillian suddenly transformed into a clamp beside them. Lily is a princess. Lily doesn't need to learn. Brother and Ridebull will help me. The eldest brother expressed that he and Father Emperor had been patient for a long time, and were already tired of it. But the second brother was still trying hard to defend her. Lillian was so upset she couldn't eat. Hearing this, Lillian immediately went into green tea mode. She frowned tightly, puckered her mouth, and tears kept falling. The eldest brother pointed at the half-eaten cake in front of Lillian. Does she look like someone who can't eat? Does the green tea spirit's unreasonable and troublemaking skill really work every time? I don't think it will this time. The emperor told Bebe Ya that he would personally teach her to read from now on. Hearing this, Bebe Ya felt as if every cell in her body was resisting. Use it. Suddenly, a clamping sound came from nearby. Dad, Lily wants to marry too. The emperor broke out in a cold sweat. You won't make me carry you all the time again, will you? Lillian quickly promised she wouldn't cry or make a fuss. The emperor knew he couldn't show favoritism, so he agreed. Lillian smiled. Having gotten her way, Bebe Ya was utterly speechless. Really can't get rid of her. The next day, Bebe Ya came to the study. Lillian was passing by and couldn't help but mock. Aren't you able to walk? I thought your legs were bad since you always let people carry you. Lillian then revealed a face identical to her birth mother's. Truly like mother, like daughter. Lillian happily rushed towards the desk, but was stopped by the emperor the next second. This isn't yours. At this moment, Lillian clenched her fists and argued with the emperor. Everything in the palace is mine. If you say this isn't mine, I'll smash it, so no one can use it. The emperor frowned. Didn't you promise not to make a fuss? Lillian immediately became possessed by her inner drama queen, tears bursting out. The emperor pointed at Bebe Ya. telling Lillian to learn from her. Lillian couldn't stand it. Who does she think she is? Why should I be compared to her? The emperor didn't want to look at Lillian anymore and directly asked Bebe Ya to come over. Just as the emperor was seriously teaching Bebe Ya to read, Lillian whispered to the maid, "Is everything ready for what we discussed last time? I can't wait anymore. Let's do it tonight." It was only the first day of class together for the real and fake princesses, but the fake princess was already unsettled, almost letting something slip. Bebe Ya sat upright at the desk carefully prepared for her by the emperor, seriously learning to read. Seeing the harmonious scene between Father Emperor and Bebe Ya, Lillian felt hatred. She wanted to get rid of this thorn in her side. So Lillian pretended to love studying. "Dad, Lily has something she doesn't understand." The emperor took the book from Lillian's hand, saying he would teach her how to speak first. Bebe Ya hid her head behind the book, secretly mocking. "Her coquettish way of speaking is for men only. She speaks normally when talking to me." The emperor taught Lillian correct pronunciation while praising Bebe Ya. The more Lillian heard, the more irritated she became, while the maid beside her stared fiercely at Bebe Ya, but Bebe Ya didn't care. When the emperor left, Lillian revealed her evil face, shouting, "It's all because of you that Father Emperor doesn't like me." Faced with Lillian's complaints, Bebe Ya didn't care at all. "What does it have to do with me? You brought this on yourself." Lillian was so angry she gritted her teeth and blurted out, "Just you wait tonight." Seeing Lillian looking like she wanted to eat someone, the maid quickly pulled her away, afraid she might accidentally reveal the entire plan for tonight. That night, the assassin arranged by Lillian quietly sneaked into Bebe Ya's room, taking out a sharp dagger. As he was about to move forward to assassinate, he suddenly tripped over something. Seeing it was just a toy teddy bear, he kicked it away, muttering, "Please don't blame me. You offended Ridebull." At this moment, he saw a huge shadow appear on the ground. "You want to harm Master Bebe Ya?" The green tea princess is ruthless. Seeing her position threatened, she actually sent an assassin to kill the real princess. The assassin quietly sneaked into Bebe Ya's room, but before he could act, he was quickly killed by the cute teddy bear. The teddy bear took the assassin's knife, and didn't forget to cover the assassin's body. The next day, Bebe Ya woke up, suspecting she had worried too much, because nothing unusual had happened to the dummy she had placed on the bed last night. Turning her head, Bebe Ya saw something on the ground, covered by a sheet. She curiously lifted it to check, and instantly, was scared to the ground by the bloody assassin's corpse. Then Lizabelle rushed over. Seeing this terrifying scene, he shouted, "Someone come quickly." Bebe Ya was seen hiding in Lizabelle's arms. She was extremely scared. Bebe Ya stared at the teddy bear on the bed. She found that bear had inexplicably many bloodstains, and a dagger added to its back. Bebe Ya tugged at Lizabelle's arm. "Bear seems a bit off." Lizabelle hurriedly handed Bear to Bebe Ya. Fortunately, he didn't notice Bear's current appearance. Bebe Ya discovered that the bloodstains on Bear had long dried. She began to suspect that Bear might have killed the assassin. At this moment, Bear suddenly spoke. Mas Bebe Ya's jaw dropped. After regaining her composure, Bebe Ya questioned Bear, "Did you kill the assassin?" Bear stammered, "I'm so cute. How could I do such a terrible thing?" The fake princess tried to kill the real princess, but didn't expect Bear to come out of nowhere, protecting the real princess completely. The emperor learned that Bebe Ya was almost assassinated, and rushed over immediately, anxiously calling Bebe Ya's name. The moment Bebe Ya appeared before the emperor, he pulled her into his arms. Faced with the emperor's sudden concern and embrace, Bebe Ya suddenly felt very awkward. The emperor blamed himself, and ordered Bebe Ya to move to the palace to live with him. Hearing this, Bebe Ya looked incredulous. Thinking about living with Green Tea Lillian, she shook her head like a rattledrum. The emperor saw Bebe Ya's concerns, and said he would first have Lillian move out. Without waiting for Bebe Ya to agree, the emperor directly ordered, "The Red Wolf Knights must guard Bebe Ya at all times." It was really a headache. This way, Lillian would definitely cry and make a scene again. In the evening, headmaid Anna was teaching Bebe Ya tea etiquette, when suddenly Lillian barged in. Bebe Ya gave a contemptuous look. "Don't you know to knock when entering a room? No manners. Get out." This sentence completely enraged Lillian, her face contorted with anger. Anna hurriedly educated Bebe Ya. "How could you scold Lillian like that?" Bebe Ya retorted, "Didn't you just teach me to sternly rebuke those who are disrespectful?" To maintain dignity, I'm applying what I learned. Lillian cursed loudly, lunging at Bebe Ya like she wanted to eat her. Fortunately, Lizabelle stopped her. Then, Bebe Ya imitated Lillian's tantrum tactics, shouting in Lillian's ear, "Are you done yet?" After the real princess was almost assassinated, the emperor arranged for her to stay by his side. However, on the first day of moving into the palace, the fake princess came to cause trouble. Faced with Lillian's savage rudeness, Bebe Ya didn't take her seriously at all. Casually saying, "Get out," made Lillian explode with anger on the spot. Bebe Ya imitated Lillian's tantrum tactics, shouting in her ear, "Are you done yet?" The next second, Lillian was possessed by her inner drama queen, covering her ears, pretending to be the victim. Seeing Lillian being bullied, Ridebull reached out to teach Bebe Ya a lesson. Bebe Ya fiercely retorted, "A mere maid dares to hit the emperor's daughter? Try it if you dare." At this moment, the eldest brother pushed open the door. Seeing the eldest brother, Lillian immediately went crying to tattle. "Is Bebe Ya bullying you?" "I don't know. I only saw Ridebull looking like she was about to hit someone." Before Lillian could finish, the eldest brother raised his hand, frightening Lillian to instantly cover her head with both hands. Lillian tremblingly looked up, only to see the eldest brother smiling. "I'm just teaching you manners again." Seeing the eldest brother standing up for Bebe Ya, Lillian immediately switched to a sweet tone, shedding worthless tears. "Why are you treating me like this?" Lillian again began to frantically act. "Father Emperor wants me to move out. Brother also said to leave since Bebe Ya entered the palace. Everyone has started to hate me." Lillian cried loudly and tried to run out, but Bebe Ya had already seen through her little trick, and grabbed Lillian's arm. "You think everyone doesn't know what stupid things you've done?" The green tea princess played the victim first, acting dramatically in front of everyone. After using her green tea crying skill, Lillian failed to gain the eldest brother's favor. Instead, the eldest brother protected Bebe Ya. Seeing this, Lillian wanted to leave, but how could Bebe Ya let her go so easily? Lillian struggled hard. "You villain, let go of me." As luck would have it, this scene was witnessed by the emperor. Bebe Ya quickly let go, extremely speechless. "It's over. Now in this situation I'm completely in villain mode." Seeing the emperor, Lillian immediately went forward, complaining to him about how Bebe Ya bullied her. The emperor doubted Lillian's words and wanted to hear from Bebe Ya again to make a fair judgment. Hearing the word fair, Bebe Ya turned to leave, not wanting to explain anything. The emperor put down the crying Lillian, and ordered Bebe Ya to move into the palace tonight. After all, an assassin had appeared there, and the emperor wouldn't allow Bebe Ya to continue living there. Hearing about the assassin, Lillian immediately stopped crying, thinking of some new bad idea. Lillian looked up and asked the emperor, "Is it because of the assassin that you're letting Bebe Ya move into the palace? If an assassin appears at my place too, can I also move in?" Hearing the emperor not directly answer her question, she angrily left with Ridebull. In a blink, the emperor brought Bebe Ya to her new room, not only arranging it on the second floor, but also next to his. How could she escape now? The little princess, having lost her freedom, was determined to flee the palace. Just as she was at a loss, the fake princess's antics inadvertently helped her. Since Bebe Ya moved into the palace, the emperor would come to check on her for no reason. The eldest brother also often came over saying the room had a good view. Even when she went out for fresh air, the guards would say, "Please return to your room quickly." This life was utterly boring. As Bebe Ya pondered, she suddenly had an idea, thinking of Bear who killed the assassin. Wanting Bear to notify Jameson to use magic to take her out of the palace, Bebe Ya suddenly heard someone shouting, "There's an assist, protect Princess Lillian quickly." She saw the Red Wolf Knights all running to Lillian's place. Even the emperor hurried over. Bebe Ya realized this was a good chance to escape. She thought, how come there's another assassin? Could Lillian be staging this herself? No time to think about that now. Just as Bebe Ya was about to leave with Bear on her back, head maid Anna suddenly came to call Bebe Ya for class. Bebe Ya thought quickly and rushed to a room under renovation. It turned out that a few days ago, Bebe Ya accidentally discovered that this room had a secret passage leading directly to the palace garden. By the time Anna opened the door and came in, Bebe Ya had already disappeared. Bebe Ya went through the long secret passage and finally escaped successfully. She then met Jameson as wished. The fake princess's mischief in the palace didn't end well, while the real princess escaped the palace to be free. In her panic, Bebe Ya saw the Red Wolf Knights searching for something throughout the city. She quickly hid behind a tree, and after the knights left, she ran to Jameson's garden. Bebe Ya threw Bear to Jameson, saying she couldn't stand it anymore. But after Bear's gentle persuasion, Bebe Ya still chose to accept Bear. Jameson used magic to clean the dust off Bebe Ya. Seeing how amazing magic was, Bebe Ya wanted to learn it too. Just as Bebe Ya heard Jameson say that she had no magical talent, while Lillian had strong potential for magic ability, she instantly exclaimed, "How is this possible? I'm so unlucky, switched at birth as a child, and my nemesis is more capable than me." She squatted on the ground, feeling more and more upset. Jameson came forward to comfort her, saying that if Bebe Ya wanted to learn, he could transfer his magic power to her. In the blink of an eye, they arrived at the market. Bebe Ya, having regained her freedom, couldn't wait to run wild in the streets. Jameson used magic to give Bebe Ya ordinary golden hair. They called each other Aunt, about to spend this joyful and magical day. Meanwhile, on the other side, the palace was in chaos again due to the assassin. The emperor blamed himself for neglecting Lillian, thinking that Lillian must not be harmed. Who knew that the moment the emperor opened the door, he saw Lillian sitting on the sofa, leisurely eating a strawberry cake. Seeing that her father still cared about her, Lillian reached out for a hug. The emperor noticed the quiet assassin in the corner of the room. His instinct told him that this matter must not be simple. The fake princess and her mother's plot was seen through by the emperor at a glance. Yet they still thought they were so clever. The emperor rushed into Lillian's room. Seeing Lillian sitting on the sofa, leisurely eating a strawberry cake, looking at the dazed assassin in the room, he asked Lillian where the assassin came from. But Lillian didn't know. The maid Ridebull, seeing that the plot was about to be exposed, tried to interject, but before she could finish, the emperor angrily interrupted. "I want Lillian to speak for herself." Lillian looked at the emperor with embarrassment. He came in through the door. The emperor gave Lillian no time to think and continued asking, "Was the assassin dressed like this when he came in?" Lillian turned towards Ridebull, but the emperor firmly grabbed Lillian's arm, demanding her to look into his eyes while answering. Lillian had never seen this side of her father before. She nervously said, "Yes, yes." Hearing the guards at the door discussing, the emperor probably knew what was going on by now. He explained to everyone that Lillian was frightened and couldn't remember clearly. The emperor stood up and went to the assassin's side, ordering the steward to take Lillian away first. The maid interjected, "Let me take Lillian away instead." The emperor scolded angrily, "I told you to stay here. Can't you understand human speech?" Lillian was worried the emperor would trouble the maid and didn't want to leave. The steward had to forcibly carry her away. The emperor drew his sword, intending to kill the assassin, but the maid quickly stopped him, pleading for the assassin. "Your Majesty, shouldn't we at least ask the assassin who the mastermind is?" The emperor saw through the maid's thoughts. "Since when is it your turn to teach me how to interrogate criminals? Or is there a name you want to hear about the mastermind?" The fake princess finally fell out of favor and was put under house arrest by the emperor. After sending Lillian away, the emperor pointed his sword at Ridebull, suspecting that all this was planned by her. The emperor suddenly remembered the crown prince's words, that Ridebull had a great reputation outside the palace and much power within. Once he loved Lillian dearly, but now he was trying to protect an assassin who came to kill him. The emperor questioned Ridebull, "Because you know this assassin isn't dangerous, right?" At this moment, Lillian rushed into the room with the steward. The emperor ordered Lillian to leave, but Lillian blurted out, "We agreed. I must stay in the room." The emperor immediately realized something was wrong with this statement. He glared at Lillian. "Agreed with whom?" Lillian stammered, unable to answer. The emperor then asked, "How do you want to handle this?" Unexpectedly, Lillian immediately pleaded for the assassin. The emperor gently stroked Lillian's little face. Knowing this couldn't have been thought up by a 10-year-old child, the emperor asked Lillian to turn around and cover her eyes. Then there was a thud, and the emperor stabbed the assassin to death. Blood splattered on the maid's face, and she screamed in despair as she witnessed her friend being executed. The emperor loudly questioned Ridebull, "Did this child make you do this? The assassin who tried to kill Bebe Ya was also hired by you, wasn't it?" The maid stood there stunned, not knowing what to do. The emperor ordered, "From now on, Lillian and Ridebull are not to leave this room." Just then, a guard reported that Princess Bebe Ya was missing. The fake princess was under house arrest. Truly miserable. Meanwhile, The real princess was living freely. Hearing that Princess Bebe Ya was missing, the emperor left to search for her, ignoring Lillian's cries. This was Bebe Ya's first time at the market. She was extremely happy with Jameson. Bebe Ya was attracted by the aroma of food, and they ordered a table full of delicious dishes. After eating and drinking their fill, they realized they didn't have any money. Jameson had no choice but to use his bracelet as collateral. He put the bracelet on the table and grabbed Bebe Ya to run away, but unexpectedly, the next second, the shop owner discovered they were dining and dashing and chased after them. It turned out that the bracelet was very valuable, and the owner said he couldn't accept such a precious item. Soon they arrived at the legendary temple. Seeing the endless stairs, Jameson thought Bebe Ya would back out. Who knew Bebe Ya would rush up holding bare treasure? After climbing halfway with difficulty, Jameson said he couldn't go up anymore, or he would be shattered to pieces. Jameson gave Bebe Ya a magic necklace, which could teleport her to any place when in danger, but only once. Bebe Ya arrived at the temple entrance, and the magic instantly disappeared, her hair returning to its original color. Just as Bebe Ya was marveling at how mysterious the temple was, just as described in books, a man in white robes suddenly opened the door. He introduced himself as Balochi, the priest of this place. The little princess didn't want to reveal her real name and said, "My name is Yana." "Miss Yana, there should be 3 of you coming together, right?" The secret of the real princess being a reincarnated person was discovered so quickly. Bebe Ya arrived at the legendary temple, and the one who opened the door was Balochi, the priest of this place. Bebe Ya told the priest that she wanted to learn about the royal divine realm. After hearing this, the priest turned and walked forward, with Bebe Ya following closely behind. They then came to a huge statue, and the priest introduced, "He manages all matters of living beings. The one who stole divine power can only survive if the girl who inherited the greatest divine power is sacrificed to the gods before the Chi City year." When Bebe Ya learned about the divine realm from the priest, something that everyone in this country knows, she instantly understood that everyone had been hiding it from her. The candidate for sacrifice, the one who stole divine power, must be from the royal family, and the girl who inherited the greatest divine power should be Lillian. Bebe Ya couldn't understand why she, the biological daughter, had no magical powers. As she was lost in thought, she was suddenly interrupted by the priest. Bebe Ya thanked the priest for answering her questions and then prepared to leave. Just as Bebe Ya walked out of the temple, a voice came from behind. "Nothing will change if you don't try to change it, if you don't want history to repeat itself." Bebe Ya was startled by the priest's words and turned back abruptly, but the priest was closing the door. The more Bebe Ya thought about it, the stranger it seemed. How did he know who I am? Could he be a reincarnated person like me? Bebe Ya had no time to think further and quickly fled. She saw Jameson waiting and shouted, "This place is too dangerous." She grabbed Jameson and rushed down the mountain. The crown prince sincerely cared for the little princess, even having a big argument with his father. Bebe Ya, out of breath, finally reached the foot of the mountain. Jameson, hearing that the priest could sense his presence without seeing him in person, felt the situation wasn't good and wanted to quickly send Bebe Ya back to the palace. Bebe Ya looked dissatisfied. "Didn't you promise to take me to your home? Are you going back on your word?" Reluctantly, Jameson had to agree. In the palace, the emperor was furious. He loudly questioned, "Has Bebe Ya's portrait been distributed?" But the steward told him they hadn't had time to paint the little princess's portrait yet. The emperor was filled with guilt. It was all because he was tricked by Lillian's assassin, who must have left at that time. Bebe Ya had been in the palace for so long but hadn't. At this moment, the crown prince suddenly appeared and asked his father, "Has Bebe Ya been found?" He was met with a barrage of scolding from the emperor. The emperor stood up, wanting to search for Bebe Ya himself. As he brushed past the crown prince, "Sister is missing, and you only care now? Isn't that laughable? Since she entered the palace, you've ignored her, and now you're suddenly concerned." The emperor was enraged by the crown prince's words and walked up to him. "Are you reproaching me? I just don't want Bebe Ya to end up like me. If she wants to escape from you, let her escape." The emperor trembled with anger. "You mean I hurt you?" The crown prince felt a pang in his heart. "How dare I say I'm the victim? I'm the one who caused mother's death, made you lose your love. I'm the perpetrator, right?" The crown prince's words were just to make the emperor truly care for Bebe Ya. Otherwise, no one would stay by his side. Did she know from the beginning that the real princess doesn't belong to this time? Who is he really? Jameson waved his arm and brought Bebe Ya to an open space. He told Bebe Ya this was his home. Bebe Ya was stunned. "Are you joking with me? Even for camping, You need a tent. Jameson patted Bebe Ya's head and asked, what if I'm not human? Bebe Ya punched Jameson's arm with her little fists. Tell me the truth. Jameson smiled. I am Jameson. Bebe Ya retorted, that's the name I gave you. Stop fooling me. At this point, Jameson seemed to realize something. Jameson is my real name. He suspected Bebe Ya wasn't from this time. Hearing this, Bebe Ya's eyes widened in shock. He knew everything. Bebe Ya confessed to Jameson. Jameson also explained to Bebe Ya why he came here. This world had once collapsed, and time was reversed. Bebe Ya asked Jameson how to survive, but Jameson told Bebe Ya that she needed to find the answer herself. Jameson gave Bebe Ya a small daisy. Pain can only be healed by another kind of pain. Although Bebe Ya couldn't fully understand the meaning of this sentence, she seemed to know what to do next. The previous Bebe Ya was a melancholic girl, always watching others' expressions. Now Bebe Ya shines brightly, like a star in the dark night. Bebe Ya decided to return to the palace, happily saying goodbye to Jameson. After playing hide and seek, the real princess returned to the palace through a secret passage, only to find everyone's attitude had changed. Everyone in the palace was searching for Bebe Ya, while Bebe Ya had already returned through the secret passage. She first threw Bear Treasure out to scout, but as soon as Bebe Ya crawled out of the secret passage, she made eye contact with her big brother. He held Bear Treasure in one hand, looking puzzled. Bebe Ya, having been discovered, could only smile to cover her embarrassment. The narcissistic big brother didn't speak, dropped Bear Treasure, and gave Bebe Ya a big bear hug. The big brother shouted loudly, I was so worried about you. The next second, Bebe Ya pinched her big brother's face with her delicate little hands. Are you really my big brother? Not a wolf in princess clothing? The big brother disgustedly pushed away Bebe Ya's little dirty hands. You've messed up my face. Bebe Ya squinted her eyes. Is this really my narcissistic big brother? The big brother questioned why Bebe Ya disappeared without a word. Bebe Ya felt deeply wronged. She had clearly left a note. Just then, the steward burst in frantically. He reported to the crown prince that someone had just seen the little princess in the woods. Before he could finish, he saw Bebe Ya standing there innocently. He couldn't believe his eyes, and after repeatedly confirming, he hurried to report to the emperor. Bebe Ya lowered her head and sighed, because she didn't want to see the emperor's face so soon. Big brother patted the dust off Bebe Ya, saying he didn't want to either, but there was no choice. Just as Bebe Ya was about to ask her brother why, the emperor rushed in and hugged her. The emperor, with a fierce face, questioned Bebe Ya, where exactly did you go? The real princess imitated the fake princess's acting and pretended to faint. Unexpectedly, her brother saw through it at a glance. Darlings, have you ever pretended to be sick to avoid your parents' questioning when you were young? The emperor, with a fierce face, questioned Bebe Ya about where she had been. Bebe Ya hurriedly explained that she had discovered a secret passage and accidentally got lost. The emperor didn't seem to appreciate this. He was more concerned about why Bebe Ya had run away. Bebe Ya was annoyed by the emperor's questions and needed to find a way to escape. She crossed her arms and let out an before fainting. The emperor panicked, but fortunately, the crown prince caught Bebe Ya. He shouted at the emperor, how far do you want to push her? The emperor looked at the crown prince, gritting his teeth, angry but not daring to speak. Big brother carried Bebe Ya back to her room. Bebe Ya peeked and whispered, I'm fine. Put me down quickly. If you're acting, do it properly. Bebe Ya was shocked. What? He knew I was pretending. Bebe Ya found the room in chaos. When she learned that the palace had been turned upside down in search of her, she lowered her head in self-reproach. Big brother grabbed the quilt and threw it at Bebe Ya. Bebe Ya poked her head out from under the quilt. Why do you hate him? Big brother pretended not to understand Bebe Ya's question. Huh? Bebe Ya didn't hesitate and said the emperor's name. Big brother thought for a moment. He doesn't like me, and I don't like him. Is there a problem with that? Bebe Ya wanted to ask more, but was told by her brother to rest quickly. Before leaving, he didn't forget to mock Bebe Ya. Your acting skills when pretending to be sick aren't very good. You need to work harder. The domineering little princess returns, her pointed questions directly pinning down the emperor. After Big Brother left, Bebe Ya noticed something was wrong with Bear Treasure. The ear that Big Brother had touched had changed. Bear Treasure wanted to find Jameson for repairs and leapt towards the window, but Bebe Ya grabbed him back, worried Bear Treasure might get hurt. She used a basket to safely send him to the ground. At this moment, the door suddenly opened, and Elizabeth, who hadn't been seen for a long time, hugged Bebe Ya. Bebe Ya was stunned to see the emperor bringing a doctor. Oh no, the pretend illness is about to be exposed. After questioning Bebe Ya, the doctor told the emperor that the little princess's symptoms might be due to her power not yet being activated. The emperor nodded and explained to Bebe Ya, royal children are born with power. Although you can't understand now, this is the destiny of the royal family. If it's really that ability, I actually don't have it. She looked up and asked the emperor, if I don't have royal power, will you not want me anymore? The emperor didn't expect Bebe Ya to think this way. He quickly stated that he never said such a thing. Then Bebe Ya said, if this is the way to acknowledge her identity, she'd rather not have it. The emperor shouted emotionally, even if you don't activate your power, I won't drive you away. I hope you keep your word. Don't go back on it when you find out I really don't have this power. Bebe Ya didn't want to argue further with the emperor and turned to ask Elizabeth to prepare a hot bath. It's so comfortable. Bebe Ya forgot all her worries for a moment. Just then, she suddenly asked, I heard something happened to Lillian, right? The real princess has just returned to the palace. Is the fake princess already getting restless? Bebe Ya was comfortably soaking in the bath when she suddenly asked if something had happened to Lillian. When Elizabeth told her everything about Lillian arranging the assassin, Bebe Ya smiled. It's as expected. Lillian is under house arrest. This is also their retribution. Early the next morning, Bebe Ya was dragged to class by the steward. The steward tried to persuade Bebe Ya along the way to understand His Majesty's intentions. Just back and sent to class. Why not put me under house arrest for a few days for some peace and quiet? The emperor said softly, come in. However, Bebe Ya looked unwilling. As soon as she entered, she saw a stack of papers on the table, which turned out to be a carefully planned study schedule the emperor had made for Bebe Ya. Just as Bebe Ya was thanking the emperor, a guard suddenly came to report, it's bad. Princess Lillian has fainted. At this point, the emperor was already immune to this drama queen. Since classes began, she hasn't had a single normal day. The guard hurriedly explained, this time it's real. Her forehead is even bleeding. The emperor looked serious. Then go get a doctor. Do you think I can heal her? Hearing this conversation, Bebe Ya couldn't help but sigh. How cold. It's as if she wasn't someone he once poured all his emotions into. Someone he loved. You spoiled her into this state. And now you're giving up so easily. Sooner or later, you'll treat me the same way. Bebe Ya suddenly spoke up. Father, you'd better go check on Lillian. To her surprise, the emperor refused. Bebe Ya frowned. Why does he only favor one person? Is he making his stance clear to me? Surely he doesn't want to spoil me like Lillian. Does he? Unexpectedly, the fake princess's illness turned out to be real this time. She even regained the emperor's favor unexpectedly. Since Lillian fell ill, Bebe Ya had a few peaceful days. While she was focused on reading, Elizabeth found out some details about the previous assassin. Although everyone knew that both assassination attempts were orchestrated by Lillian, according to the law, she should have been beheaded. But in the end, the emperor only put her under house arrest. There were constant rumors in the palace that she and His Majesty were lovers. Bebe Ya wondered how Lillian was doing now. She really wanted to see her expression after directing this assassination drama herself. She went to the flower field to pick beautiful daisies, arranged them a bit, and decided to visit Lillian. She couldn't appear to be gloating. After all, the maid was shocked to see Princess Bebe Ya coming to visit Lillian. She didn't dare let the little princess in on her own, so she asked Bebe Ya to wait outside for a moment. Bebe Ya knew that Lillian wouldn't allow her in yet, so she squeezed through the door gap the moment the maid opened it. Lillian, who was sitting on the sofa eating strawberry cake, instantly turned sour upon seeing Bebe Ya's arrival. She shouted, "What are you doing here? Go away. It seems the illness is real, but it doesn't look too serious. She's even eating more than usual." Bebe Ya pretended to be very kind. "I came to visit you, and I brought you flowers." Unexpectedly, Lillian slapped the bouquet away with a loud smack, scattering petals all over the floor. At this moment, the emperor rushed in. Hearing the commotion, seeing the emperor, Lillian immediately became pitiful, squeezing out 2 tears and throwing herself into the emperor's arms. "Dad, please save Lily. Lily is so scared." Anyone can act pitiful. Don't think it's a skill exclusive to green tea bitches. Bebe Ya pretended to kindly visit the sick Lillian, even carefully preparing a beautiful bouquet of daisies. But Lillian didn't appreciate it at all and swatted the flowers away. After spending time together, the emperor no longer believed Lillian's words and asked Bebe Ya what she had said to Lillian. Seeing this, Lillian pounded the emperor's chest with her little fists. Why don't you believe me? You used to always believe me. Was your promise to continue loving me a lie? Seeing Lillian so agitated, the emperor had no choice but to ask Bebe Ya to leave first. Bebe Ya instantly burst into tears. I just came to visit the sick. I even brought beautiful flowers for her. These were so hard for me to pick. I hoped you would keep them. Since you hate me so much, I'll leave now. She picked up the bouquet and placed it by the bed, then ran out crying before the emperor could react. At this point, Lillian was tightly clutching the emperor's clothes. Bebe Ya, who ran out gritting her teeth in anger, smirked. Anyone can act pitiful. Just as Bebe Ya was feeling smug, she bumped into her disliked second brother. How annoying. I wanted to put on a small show, but he saw it. The news of Bebe Ya being wronged quickly reached her big brother's ears. He seemed to be the only one who truly cared about Bebe Ya. Big brother curiously asked, did something happen? But Bebe Ya didn't plan to tell her big brother about it. It's really nothing. I just wanted to get back at that green tea bitch. After finally seeing off her big brother, Bebe Ya suddenly wanted to go to the library. She wanted to further explore the secrets of the temple. Everything you're doing now is just to reassure yourself. You've never truly tried to understand our thoughts. The emperor suddenly invited Bebe Ya for a walk, but Bebe Ya didn't want to see the emperor's face at all. The more she didn't want to see him, the more unavoidable it became. The clever Bebe Ya yawned. Although I'd love to go, I'm really quite sleepy right now. She thought the emperor would let her off, but unexpectedly, he picked Bebe Ya up in his arms. If you're sleepy, just sleep in my arms. This was so embarrassing. Bebe Ya immediately perked up, struggling. Put me down quickly. The emperor not only let Bebe Ya fuss in his arms but also carried her out of the room. They came to the garden, where the emperor voluntarily confessed to Bebe Ya that he had decided not to do things he would regret anymore. Bebe Ya looked at the emperor with confusion. Because of the recent argument with Ortalion, he deeply felt that it was he who had hurt both of them. The emperor rambled on, but Bebe Ya's mind was completely elsewhere. He worried that if he got closer to the emperor, his fate as a sacrifice would be sealed. Bebe Ya didn't want to listen to the emperor's rambling anymore, so she retorted, you don't even know what we want. You're just doing this to ease your own conscience, aren't you? Bebe Ya ran away angrily. Why put on this family act now? If you had given this love to the previous Bebe Ya, none of this would be happening now. Just as the emperor caught up with Bebe Ya, this scene was witnessed by Lillian and the second brother, who were also walking in the garden. Lillian said in a pitiful voice, why is dad with her? The fake princess actually disobeyed the emperor's orders and went for a stroll in the garden despite being under house arrest. The emperor and Bebe Ya were walking in the garden when they happened to run into Lillian and the second prince. Lillian looked at the emperor pitifully. Why is dad with her? The emperor's first reaction wasn't to explain to Lillian, but to question her. Why are you in the garden? Didn't I order you to stay in your quarters? Lillian complained to the emperor with cheap tears, saying his promise to continue loving her was a lie. The emperor sternly warned Lillian, loving you doesn't conflict with me seeing Bebe Ya. Stop being so willful. The emperor pointed at Lillian, ordering her to go back immediately. Without her permission, she couldn't take a single step out of her room. The second prince tried to defend Lillian but also received a scolding from the emperor. Faced with the emperor's reprimand, they had no choice but to return to their rooms. At this moment, Lillian turned back with a vicious look, just in time to see the emperor pick up Bebe Ya in his arms. Seeing Bebe Ya now being doted on by the emperor, the second prince and Lillian were seething with hatred. Back in the room, the emperor asked Bebe Ya what it would take for her to be willing to talk to him. However, Bebe Ya was only thinking about how to make the emperor dislike her. She previously thought a harsh attitude would make the emperor dislike her, but now it seemed that wouldn't work. So she decided to try acting like the original Bebe Ya, desperately showing her desire to be loved, thinking that would make him dislike her. Bebe Ya suddenly told the emperor that she was very hurt, but the emperor didn't blame her. After she finished speaking, the emperor didn't say anything, but instead got up and left. Bebe Ya secretly rejoiced. This works too well. I've finally found a way to survive. The emperor's temperament changed dramatically, and the fake princess's cruelty was finally discovered by the emperor. Bebe Ya planned to make the emperor dislike her by acting like the original Bebe Ya who craved love. But little did she know, the emperor had already prepared to treat her sincerely. At the dining table, Bebe Ya sat quietly in her seat, imagining how the emperor would dislike her. She looked at the roast chicken in the distance and said softly, I wonder if Dad could help me get some? Just as Bebe Ya was secretly delighted, thinking even she found this sentence disgusting and the emperor should be disgusted too. The emperor actually stood up and placed a piece of cut chicken in front of her. Seeing the emperor's actions, Lillian's hostility towards Bebe Ya intensified. The emperor looked down at Bebe Ya. I will let everyone know that Bebe Ya is my beloved daughter, my one and only princess. Lillian was stunned, and after a moment of confusion, tears welled up in her eyes. This wasn't the result Bebe Ya wanted. She tried to argue with the emperor, isn't Lillian a princess too? But the emperor said that although he liked Lillian very much, the only princess could only be Bebe Ya. It's really frustrating. This guy is making decisions on his own again. Lillian, did you threaten Bebe Ya again? The emperor's words caught Bebe Ya off guard. He looked at Lillian's aggrieved expression. You've been glaring at Bebe Ya this whole time, and you lied to me the day she brought you flowers. How much longer are you going to disappoint me? I always thought you were a sensible child. Until I saw how you treated Bebe Ya, I can no longer love you like I used to. You're much better. The mist of enmity between the crown prince and the emperor was thus cleared. As a father, how could he place the responsibility for a life on a child? Bebe Ya had a big argument with her father in the dining room. She complained that the emperor arbitrarily sketched people's characters without looking at the truth. After saying this, Bebe Ya stormed out, slamming the door in anger. At this time, her big brother strongly empathized with Bebe Ya. He found her and advised her not to trust their father too much. The crown prince said that everything happening to Bebe Ya now had also happened to him before. He recalled that back then, the emperor had also enthusiastically cared for him. But unfortunately, that kind of care didn't even last for one season. It turns out that when Crown Prince Ortalion was young, the empress was pregnant with the second prince. When she was just a few months away from giving birth, the crown prince accidentally fell into the lake while playing by the water, and with no one else around, the empress had to jump into the water herself to save the crown prince. From that time on, the empress fell ill, which ultimately led to Prince Geno being born prematurely, and the empress passed away at that time. The crown prince gently stroked Bebe Ya's forehead, saying there's no need to dwell on past events. He just hopes she won't repeat the same mistakes in the future. He's so afraid she'll get hurt. The crown prince reminded Bebe Ya again not to trust their father too much, and if she needs to rely on someone, remember to find him. Bebe Ya smiled and said, I really appreciate it, but I won't rely on any of you. After talking with her big brother, Bebe Ya got up to leave. Elizabeth thought Bebe Ya was going to apologize to the emperor, but Bebe Ya's face darkened, saying, who's going to apologize to him? I'm going to get permission to enter the library for the first time. The little princess's progress in exploring the temple's secrets advanced further, as she finally obtained a pass to the royal library. In the study, the emperor was reading carefully. He was somewhat shocked to see Bebe Ya standing at the door. My goodness, this is the first time Bebe Ya has come to me on her own initiative. Bebe Ya lowered her head and said she wanted to go to the library. After hearing this, the emperor's gaze turned sharp, saying that only he could go to that library. Not even Geno and Lillian were allowed. Bebe Ya thought, hadn't he even considered that Ortalion could go? Hearing his eldest son's name, the emperor turned his head to the side. The clever Bebe Ya immediately realized that he hadn't forgiven his eldest son because of what happened to the empress. Seeing that the emperor wouldn't let her go to the library, Bebe Ya tried to ask the emperor in a coquettish way, I really want to go. Is it still not okay even though I'm begging like this? Seeing Bebe Ya talk this way, the emperor was quite taken aback, saying he would consider it, and then told her to go back first. The next morning, Bebe Ya heard someone knocking on the door while she was still asleep. She rubbed her eyes groggily and went to open the door. It turned out to be the butler bringing Bebe Ya the library pass. The butler explained that as soon as the princess left yesterday, the emperor ordered this pass to be made. Seeing Bebe Ya happily accept the pass, the butler expressed hope that the princess would talk more with His Majesty in the future. Bebe Ya didn't like hearing this and quickly told the butler to go back to work and not mention the emperor anymore. Having obtained the library pass, Bebe Ya could hardly wait to rush into the library. She pulled Elizabeth along, running all the way to the library entrance. The one who opened the door was the librarian, Labelle. He greeted Princess Bebe Ya warmly, asking how it felt to be deceived twice by the man she liked. Bebe Ya successfully entered the library with her pass. It was her first time seeing so many books, and she felt she had come to the right place. This must be a collection of all the books in the world. Librarian Lebel had found all the books about the temple and placed them in the study. He said this was by the emperor's order, specially opened for the little princess. Lebel left with Elizabeth, letting Bebe Ya read in peace. Bebe Ya sighed that this was truly a great place for reading. Just as she opened a book to start reading, a man's voice came from behind, asking, "Want to see?" Bebe Ya was instantly scared out of her wits and screamed loudly. Looking closely, it turned out to be Jenkinson. Jenkinson awkwardly greeted Bebe Ya, but she was still in shock. "Hi, my foot. How did you get in here? This isn't a place ordinary people can enter." Jenkinson laughed, because he wasn't an ordinary person at all. "Bei Ya, how's Bear doing?" Jenkinson feigned surprise and asked, "Isn't he with you?" Bebe Ya panicked. Bear had gone to find Jenkinson a few days ago. Seeing Bebe Ya so worried about Bear, Jenkinson finally couldn't hold back anymore. "I'm kidding. I've already seen him, but I couldn't save him. I came today to tell you this news." Bebe Ya felt conflicted. "No way. Was that the last time I saw Bear?" Jenkinson rested his chin on his hand. "Ha, looks like you do care about Bear quite a bit. He'll be relieved to hear that." "What? You tricked me again. You're too much." The little princess's curiosity was really strong. It seemed she wouldn't rest until she got to the bottom of things. Bebe Ya and Jenkinson discussed Bear in the study. He warned Bebe Ya never to let her eldest brother encounter Bear again, or she'd really have to say goodbye to Bear for good. Bebe Ya's mind went blank, completely unable to hear the knocking at the door. When Elizabeth rushed into the study, Bebe Ya's face was full of panic. "Princess, are you alright? Still not having recovered?" Bebe Ya stammered. "I'm fine." Bebe Ya vaguely sensed that Jenkinson was a member of the royal family. She asked Elizabeth, and learned that records of royal family members were kept in the basement, generally not allowed to be viewed unless permitted by the emperor. In the evening, Bebe Ya was reading in her room. She suddenly looked up, feeling like she was being watched. Turning around, she found the emperor behind her. "What are you doing standing there so quietly?" Bebe Ya, who had been planning to find the emperor, thought. "I didn't expect him to come to me instead." The emperor asked if he could enter Bebe Ya's room. Although reluctant, Bebe Ya still invited him in. After a conversation with the emperor, he actually took out the basement key and gave it to Bebe Ya. The emperor was muttering on the side, but Bebe Ya couldn't hear anything he was saying anymore. She looked at the key in her hand, her thoughts already flying to the basement. The next day, Bebe Ya dragged her eldest brother to the basement door. With a click, the door opened. At this time, a guard brought blankets, and her eldest brother told Bebe Ya to take one, but she refused. Who knew that after just a few steps, she would already be shivering from the cold? It turns out that the royal family's tragedy began with the previous emperor. Bebe Ya was shivering from the cold in the basement. At this moment, her eldest brother draped a blanket over her and held her hand as they walked deeper inside. Bebe Ya looked at her brother, who seemed very familiar with this place. She asked if he had been here before. "When I was little, Father Emperor and Mother Empress held my hand and brought me here. They showed me my name." The eldest brother fell into deep thought and held Bebe Ya's hand tighter. He explained that these were portraits of past emperors and royal family members. Soon, the eldest brother saw his family portrait. Bebe Ya said, "You're not in it yet, but you will be soon." Facing the portrait, Bebe Ya said, "It's better not to be in it. In case I escape someday, it would be too easy to catch me." Next, they came to the family portrait of the previous emperor. Bebe Ya saw two identical little boys in the painting. It turned out that Father Emperor had two older brothers, one half-brother and one twin brother. Looking at Father Emperor in the portrait, Bebe Ya couldn't help but exclaim, "He was quite cute, completely different from now." The eldest brother vividly narrated the story of that time to Bebe Ya. The root of all tragedy lay here. Father Emperor possessed power stronger than any royal family member, while his twin brother had power that was the opposite. The Crown Prince Lucas tried to kill the twin brothers, resulting in the twin brother going berserk and being confined, and Father Emperor's personality changed drastically from that time. The barrier around the palace was said to protect the royal family, but in reality, it was to guard against this son. At this moment, Bebe Ya suddenly noticed a nameplate with the words, Luoxuya Jenkinson, written on it. The little princess's ability was indeed undeniable. As the mysterious man finally admitted his identity, Bebe Ya stared blankly at Jenkinson's nameplate in the basement. She questioned, "How is this possible?" The eldest brother grabbed Bebe Ya's hand. "Let's go look elsewhere." Bebe Ya looked back at Jenkinson's childhood portrait, wondering why he had concealed his identity. Suddenly, Bebe Ya let go of her brother's hand and ran towards the door. She arrived at the garden, calling out Jenkinson's name loudly. Soon, Jenkinson finally appeared. "Dear little princess, I knew you would come to see me. I brought you flowers." Bebe Ya didn't bother to take the flowers from Jenkinson. She asked directly if he was father's older brother. Jenkinson looked at Bebe Ya with a smile. "You're really impressive, figuring it out so quickly." Jenkinson handed over the flowers. "This is your reward." Bebe Ya looked up. "I only know your father's brother, but I want to know more about you. Are you still alive? Because some rumors say you disappeared." I thought. Unexpectedly, Jenkinson didn't avoid the topic at all. "No, I am indeed dead. I shouldn't have encouraged you to investigate my identity." Jenkinson said he didn't intend to deceive Bebe Ya. He had planned to come explain everything to Bebe Ya in a few days. Jenkinson promised to tell her the whole truth next time, and then let Bebe Ya go back. Just as Bebe Ya turned to leave, Jenkinson suddenly called out to her. "Some people, due to major traumas from the past, are not good at facing new relationships, and don't know how to express their feelings. So please don't hate him too much." "So you mean father, Princess Lillian was up to something again? What was her purpose this time?" The emperor invited Bebe Ya for a walk in the garden, and this time Bebe Ya didn't refuse. While Bebe Ya was changing clothes, the emperor picked up the diary on the table. When Bebe Ya discovered this, she snatched the diary and questioned the emperor. "Why are you touching other people's things? What did you see?" The emperor was surprised. "It's just a blank notebook. Nothing is written in it." But Bebe Ya held the diary, which was clearly filled with past and future events, full of the original owner's tragic history. How could he say he didn't see anything? At this moment, Elizabeth came over. "Princess, where did you find this blank notebook? Are you planning to use it to record your thoughts about young Master Aide?" Bebe Ya was stunned. Could it be that there really was nothing written, and only she could see it? The emperor smiled. "Bebe Ya has grown up and now has little secrets she doesn't want others to know." The emperor took Bebe Ya's hand and led her to the garden, where they happened to overhear Lillian and the second brother plotting loudly. They planned to put on an act when the emperor passed by. Bebe Ya hid in the bushes, seeing Lillian crying and saying she would wait here for the emperor to favor her again. Then the second brother comforted Lillian. "Don't cry. Father won't come back even if you keep crying. This act is too fake. Pretending to run into each other here." Just as she was about to pull the emperor to see Lillian, the emperor unexpectedly led Bebe Ya away directly. He was definitely doing it on purpose, deliberately ignoring Lillian. But why would he do this? Is the little princess's spring about to come? The emperor and Bebe Ya arrived at this summer-themed park. He suddenly began to get emotional. The previous emperor, not knowing how to love his children, caused many disasters, leading to the loss of his loved ones. So he didn't want to follow in the previous emperor's footsteps. But sadly, he didn't know how. Hearing this, Bebe Ya asked the emperor, "If you want to improve relationships with your children, shouldn't you first open up to Big Brother Ortai and Leon?" The emperor turned his head and said they were already grown up. Clearly, Bebe Ya didn't agree with this statement. No matter how old they are, they're still the emperor's children. The harm done to them in the past won't disappear as they age. Bebe Ya looked the emperor in the eye. "You should focus your energy on someone else." Just as the emperor was about to speak, Bebe Ya said loudly, "No, by someone else I mean Lillian. She's begging for your love right now." The emperor fell silent, and Bebe Ya hoped he would come to his senses, then turned to leave. The next morning, Bebe Ya discovered the secret of Elizabeth's father, who was the butler Al, and listened to their tragic love story. That day, Bebe Ya was looking at the sky, wishing someone could take her away from this dull palace, to see the vast world. She looked down, and there was Jurban. Bebe Ya took the initiative to greet Jurban, and Jurban politely responded. Just as he was introducing his friend to Bebe Ya suddenly hid behind the curtain. Oh my, could this be the feeling of falling in love? At that moment, Bebe Ya understood what it meant to fall in love at first sight. The little adult emerged, and the princess even started calling for her big brother. Just as Bebe Ya was pondering what it means to fall in love at first sight, she was suddenly startled by Elizabeth, giving Bebe Ya quite a fright. It turned out Elizabeth was there to remind the princess that it was time to meet the prince. They arrived at the abandoned empress's courtyard, finding the eldest brother reading there. The eldest brother said he wanted to speak privately with his little sister, so he asked Elizabeth and the other maids to leave. Then the eldest brother became serious, complaining that Bebe Ya had worried him so much yesterday, yet didn't even say sorry. Unexpectedly, the usually proud little princess immediately apologized to her big brother. This situation truly surprised the eldest brother. Seeing her brother's shocked expression, Bebe Ya quickly added, "Forget it. Pretend I didn't say that." The eldest brother smiled. "Now that's more like Bebe Ya, isn't it?" He asked Bebe Ya, "What do you think freedom is?" Bebe Ya looked at the crown prince in surprise. Why would brother ask such a question? Are you thinking of living outside the palace? Bebe Ya advised her brother, "Don't think about such unrealistic things. Being anxious about the next meal, fearing having nowhere to sleep, without experiencing these things, how can one say without hesitation that they can give up everything they currently enjoy? If you want to give up everything and leave just because of past wounds, I think you're just a hothouse flower." The eldest brother pondered for a long time. Perhaps having come to a realization, he suddenly apologized to Bebe Ya. "I was wrong. I hope this thought didn't hurt you?" Bebe Ya grabbed her brother's hand. "It won't hurt me. Come on, let's continue to the basement to look at those paintings." But when they arrived at the basement door, "What? We can't enter?" The fake princess's tears seemed well trained, ready to flow on cue. The excited Bebe Ya arrived at the basement door. After being told they couldn't enter, she had no choice but to plan to return with her eldest brother. Just as they opened the door, "Who's this?" Bebe Ya saw her disliked second brother and didn't want to stay a moment longer, turning to leave. At this moment, the second brother suddenly grabbed Bebe Ya's arm, asking the eldest brother in confusion, "Why are you together with Bebe Ya?" The next second, Lillian ran over holding a bouquet of flowers. Seeing the eldest brother and Bebe Ya standing together, she asked the same question as Geno. The eldest brother, being a reasonable person, retorted, "Who I'm with and where I am seems to be none of your business, right?" Hearing the eldest brother's retort, Lillian asked Ertai pitifully, "Brother hasn't come to see me lately either." The eldest brother quickly clarified, "Don't say it like I used to come see you before. I never intended to visit you at all." The second brother Geno couldn't stand it anymore. He shouted at the eldest brother, "Lillian is already miserable enough. Why do you speak to her like that?" Then he accused, "It's all because of Bebe Ya that Lillian is under house arrest. This is ridiculous." Bebe Ya questioned the second brother, "If Lillian is under house arrest, then who is this person next to you?" This question left the second brother speechless. Seeing he couldn't stand his ground, the second brother began to insult shamelessly, calling Bebe Ya a wild child picked up from the street. The eldest brother, of course, couldn't watch his own sister be wronged, and stood up to reprimand the second prince Geno loudly. Just as the two were arguing heatedly, Bebe Ya suddenly questioned her second brother, "Do you know why Lillian was put under house arrest?" The second brother, as always, didn't distinguish right from wrong, and would defend Lillian no matter what. But Bebe Ya's question made her panic, because she indeed only knew the fact that Lillian was under house arrest, but never understood the reason behind it. Hearing this, Lillian lowered her head with a dark face, knowing she had no face to stay there any longer. The second brother sincerely asked Bebe Ya, "What exactly is the reason?" Bebe Ya smiled smugly, "Of course, I certainly don't know." She looked up at her eldest brother, who immediately understood Bebe Ya's little trick. "Of course I don't know either." The second brother suddenly had an emotional breakdown. "You know everything. You're just hiding it from me." The eldest brother's eyes turned sharp. "Then why don't you ask the person next to you?" Lillian stammered that she didn't know either, and complained with a slight cry in her voice that the eldest brother had changed, now only revolving around Bebe Ya. "Done." The second brother pulled Lillian away, leaving with harsh words, "You've been bewitched by that enchantress. You'll regret it." Bebe Ya had never been so speechless, not knowing who was really bewitched by an enchantress. The emperor, at some point, seemed to have developed a special feeling about Bebe Ya's initiative to talk to him. He was always overjoyed when faced with Bebe Ya's questions. Bebe Ya questioned the emperor why he gave her the key but still didn't let her enter the basement. The emperor waved his hand, letting a group come in. It turned out the emperor had arranged for painters to paint Bebe Ya's portrait. "Great. After I escape, won't my portraits be everywhere?" Although Bebe Ya strongly resisted, it seemed to be of no use. The emperor hugged her and instructed the painters to start painting. The efficiency of royal portrait painting, let's just say it's slow with a capital S, What a windfall. The emperor brought painters to paint Beibei Ya's portrait. For her first portrait, she thought she couldn't move during the painting process, so she obediently sat there all day. The emperor explained they were just referencing her appearance, and she could adjust her posture freely. When this was revealed, Beibei Ya was furious. Why didn't you say so earlier? I'm exhausted. Then Beibei Ya took out her teddy bear and hugged it. Is this more comfortable? The emperor looked thoughtful seeing the teddy bear. Beibei Ya accurately predicted the emperor's prediction. No, don't. Alright. It turned out the emperor wanted to have the butler send over many toys seeing Beibei Ya liked them, which was exactly what Beibei Ya had guessed. So Beibei Ya had spoken preemptively. The teddy bear mumbled, "The master only loves me." Beibei Ya pinched the teddy bear's face. Don't speak. As the painting went on, possibly due to boredom, Beibei Ya fell asleep. When she woke up, she found herself on the emperor's lap. She looked out the window. It was already dark. She turned and complained why the emperor didn't wake her up. The emperor wanted to use this opportunity to get closer to Beibei Ya, but Beibei Ya said her own bed was the most comfortable. Beibei Ya curiously lifted the cloth covering the easel, but the emperor grabbed her hand, telling her she couldn't look before it was finished. Beibei Ya was more confused. Didn't you just say it was over? The emperor looked serious. I only said today's session was over. The rest will take 4 more days. What, 4 days? It takes 4 days to paint a portrait? Beibei Ya looked at the 3 easels. One is me. One is the emperor. Who's in the third painting? To say the crown prince is just a straight man, probably no one would argue, right? Beibei Ya and her eldest brother agreed to meet in the basement. A guard bowed at the door saying they had been waiting for a long time. Beibei Ya wondered how he knew she was coming today. Her gaze turned to her eldest brother. The eldest brother shook his head saying he didn't know either. As they walked and talked, Beibei Ya asked her eldest brother if he disliked her at first. Unexpectedly, the eldest brother answered firmly, without hesitation, "But later I grew fond of you because you're so much like Snow-Ray." Beibei Ya wanted to dig deeper. Who is Snow-Ray? The eldest brother's eyes darted, changing the subject. Isn't it warmer here? As they were talking, the person in front of them shocked the siblings. They looked at each other, their eyes seeming to communicate. Why is he here? It turned out the emperor had been waiting for them for a long time. The emperor squinted, saying he would take them for a tour. The emperor walked in front, while the two of them whispered behind. You didn't call him here, did you? Beibei Ya awkwardly replied, how could that be possible? If I knew he was here, I wouldn't have come. What should we do? Should we look today or come back another day? Beibei Ya pondered. We can't avoid it forever. Given the emperor's personality, he won't give up. Might as well do it today. Sighing, well, I guess that's all we can do. The emperor called them to catch up. Beibei Ya jogged over. Let's just get this over with quickly. The emperor asked the crown prince how he had been lately. Beibei Ya knew these father and son needed some space to repair their relationship, so she ran off. She came to her own portrait. If it wasn't hanging next to him, I might be happier. If he had known there would be a big fight here, the emperor probably wouldn't have brought them to visit this place, right? She looked at the family portrait, lost in memories. Although Beibei Ya already knew most of what the emperor said, but was he deliberately ignoring certain key points, only talking about his and Jameson's happy childhood? At this moment, the eldest brother finally couldn't control his emotions, shouting, enough. I'm taking Beibei Ya away from here right now. The emperor reached out to grab the crown prince's shoulder trying to keep him, but was met with a threat from the crown prince. While I can still control my emotions, I hope you won't stop me. The emperor really didn't expect him to speak to him like this, loudly rebuking the crown prince for being disrespectful, always thinking only of his own feelings. The crown prince violently shook off the emperor's hand. Who's the one only caring about their own feelings? He said he had learned from a young age to read the emperor's mood. Afraid of angering the emperor and being scolded, the emperor's talk of his happy childhood was a joke in the crown prince's eyes. He questioned his father. Why did you take away his childhood? Was it because he caused his mother's death? He cried that whenever he wanted to get close to his brother, he was always hindered by the emperor. The toys he carefully prepared for his brother were thrown away by the emperor, calling them trash. The crown prince glared at the emperor, venting all the grievances accumulated over the years. Because of his mother's death, he always wanted to make amends to his brother, but the emperor repeatedly deprived him of such opportunities. Hearing this, Beibei Ya felt very conflicted. He really couldn't watch them continue arguing, shouting, stop it, both of you. Living like this is like riding a roller coaster every day. Not exciting, but rather distancing. The emperor and crown prince's argument drove Bebe Ya away. He complained to Elizabeth, "Neither of them gives me peace of mind." After saying this, he was about to leave. Butler Al, seeing Bebe Ya's reaction, felt things weren't that simple. He begged Bebe Ya to go and persuade them, as they didn't have the right to enter the basement. So Bebe Ya returned to the basement, folding his arms. "Are you two done arguing?" Then he took his eldest brother's hand and shouted at the emperor, "Don't talk to him. I don't want to deal with anyone right now." Bebe Ya and the eldest brother went to the room. The eldest brother asked Bebe Ya if he returned to the basement, because he was worried about leaving him alone with their father. He apologized to Bebe Ya. "I was too intense just now, but it was just communication." "Communication? You call that communication? You two looked like you were about to eat each other alive. Neither of you is normal." Bebe Ya asked his eldest brother if he truly wanted to reconcile with their father. The smile on the eldest brother's face instantly disappeared. Reconciliation is impossible now. It seemed the eldest brother really didn't want to face this issue, and he walked away after speaking. At this moment, Teddy Bear poked his arm. Bebe Ya knew Teddy Bear had something to say. He sent Elizabeth away. It turned out Jameson had sent an invitation through Teddy Bear. It was time to go to the flower field. Bebe Ya had just walked out of the room when he was seen by the maids. Without time to explain clearly, he ran straight out. Bebe Ya ran in front, with Elizabeth chasing behind. "Stop, don't follow me anymore. I command you as the princess." "Is this the last time Bebe Ya and Jameson will meet?" Bebe Ya saw Jameson lying stiffly on the lawn and thought something had happened to him. He quickly ran over to check if Jameson still had a heartbeat. Just when Bebe Ya really thought it was over, Teddy Bear suddenly became dramatic. His exaggerated acting was immediately seen through by Bebe Ya. "Keep acting. Are you two teaming up to trick me into crying?" Jameson suddenly sat up. All right, we can't fool you after all. We can only blame Teddy Bear's poor acting skills." Getting to the point, Bebe Ya came this time to understand the story Jameson hadn't finished telling before. "Death is indeed cruel, but what's crueler than death is seeing the people who love me become dejected because of my death." At this time, Bebe Ya looked at the despondent Jameson, as if the entire flower sea was affected by his mood. Bebe Ya really couldn't bear it. "Let's not talk about it anymore." But Jameson said, since he had promised to tell, he would finish it. All tragic endings stem from their father's favoritism. The twin brothers never wanted to compete with their eldest brother for the throne. They only wished to leave the palace when they grew up and have their own place. But even such a small request couldn't be fulfilled. Due to a curse affecting the royal family, each child born would take away a part of the power. When the power was completely divided, the royal family would no longer have children born. After the twin brothers were born, that power was completely divided, and coincidentally, they received the most power. Thus, the eldest brother Lucas was ignored by the previous emperor, and jealousy quickly turned into hatred. It turns out Jameson really had died. He hadn't lied to the little princess, because the previous emperor excessively doted on the twin brothers. It caused the eldest brother Lucas's hatred towards them to grow stronger day by day. Soon, a conflict broke out between them. After Jameson's mother passed away, Lucas, relying on his position as the eldest legitimate son and the Empress's support, had been bullying them behind the scenes. Finally, at the age of 10, Jameson used his power to destroy Lucas's right arm, right leg, and half of his face. The Empress was furious and demanded Jameson be executed, but the previous emperor couldn't bear it, so he confined him to this forest. Since then, the previous emperor never came to see him once. Bebe Ya was shocked after hearing this. Wouldn't he starve to death in the forest? Jameson gently stroked Bebe Ya's head. It's all in the past now, he continued, saying that at that time, his brother and the librarian often secretly brought him food, until one day, they never appeared again. Because their whereabouts were discovered by the previous emperor, they were all locked up. In the end, I fell into eternal sleep here. After a long time, my brother came back here with food to find me. However, all that awaited him was a cold corpse. He called out desperately, but what use was it? Because of me, he also learned what death meant. Bebe Ya reached out to wipe away Jameson's tears, her eyes full of sympathy and pain. From that moment on, the kind and timid brother Joshua became a different person. When he grew up and inherited the throne, he became cold and unapproachable. Bebe Ya pondered. You said you died when you were only 10, so why'd I see you in this form? Do souls grow up too? Jameson died in the flower field at 10. But why does he look like an adult now? It turns out, Jameson has been at the boundary between life and death, and it's thanks to the power he possesses that he's been able to maintain this state. At the same time, the previous emperor had anticipated this, so he set up a barrier around the palace that only he couldn't enter. It's said that people see gods before they die, and because of the god's mercy, his power was activated, allowing him to exist here. Jameson told Bebe Ya that he could touch her, and also make himself untouchable. As he spoke, he passed his arm through Bebe Ya's body, startling her into screaming repeatedly. Even though Jameson was so powerful, there were still two things he couldn't do. First, he couldn't enter the palace grounds, and second, he couldn't see his dearest brother Joshua. Bebe Ya looked up. You mean you can't see him like you can see me? Because they possess opposite powers. Once they meet, their powers would cancel each other out, being so close to a loved one yet never able to see them. This is probably Jameson's biggest regret in this world. Jameson sighed deeply. I'm already very content, seeing him become emperor, and having such an innocent and lovely child like Bebe Ya. Since then, has Father Emperor ever brought you anything? Jameson scratched his head. He hasn't come. Because of what happened here, this place used to be forbidden. It's only recently that they've started to manage it less strictly. That's why Elizabeth had the chance to bring me here. Jameson looked at Bebe Ya. Yes, all of this is arranged by fate. Jameson's biggest regret is that his loved one is so close, yet they can't meet. So the kind-hearted Bebe Ya decided to let the twin brothers meet. But she couldn't understand. If they were so happy when mentioning each other, why hasn't father come here again? Jameson looked at the sky. People who are alive always need to look forward. Like me, I've been left here forever. Jameson clearly wanted to see his brother in his heart, but he spoke words that betrayed his true feelings. Bebe Ya tugged at Jameson's clothes. Just tell me, do you want to see him or not? Jameson paused for a while, and finally gave an affirmative answer. He misses his brother. Hearing the answer, Bebe Ya showed an intriguing smile. She decided to help Jameson fulfill this wish. After saying this, she turned and ran towards the palace. Jameson shouted from behind, "What's the use of him coming? He still won't be able to see me." Bebe Ya ran further and further. She just wanted Jameson to be able to see Father Emperor. Bebe Ya ran very far. She could no longer control her tears. Because of the royal family's power, Bebe Ya could truly feel Jameson's sadness. She didn't want Jameson to see, so she could only leave Jameson alone in the garden. Without saying goodbye, Elizabeth was still anxiously searching for the little princess, but for some reason, she kept going in circles and returning to the starting point. At this moment, she saw Princess Bebe Ya coming from afar, looking very downcast. When asked what happened, Bebe Ya only said she wanted to go back to sleep, so Elizabeth carried Bebe Ya back to the palace. Just as she had just woken up, the emperor suddenly came to Bebe Ya's room. The emperor was eager to visit the little princess again, and he shamelessly asked Bebe Ya if she didn't welcome him. Bebe Ya looked helpless. How dare I not welcome the emperor? Bebe Ya really hadn't thought of how to bring Father Emperor to see Jameson yet, but she didn't want to miss this opportunity, so she stammered a few words. Do you want to go for a walk? Hearing this, the emperor smiled knowingly. Delighted, he thought his efforts had finally paid off. As they walked, Bebe Ya was afraid it would seem unusual to take Father Emperor directly to the garden, so she decided to rest here first. Bebe Ya sat down feeling uneasy, her mind constantly trying to think of an excuse to pass through this forest and reach the flower field. A figure seemed to float by in the distance. Bebe Ya looked closely and saw it was Jameson coming over. Bebe Ya became increasingly conflicted, her unease written all over her face. The emperor's sudden, "I'm sorry," disrupted her thoughts. It turned out the emperor had been troubled by what happened in the basement that day. Not knowing how to apologize to Bebe Ya, Bebe Ya squinted her eyes. It's fine. I've long forgotten about that incident. But that day, I saw someone who looked exactly like you. Father Emperor, are you talking about my twin brother? Bebe Ya asked the emperor seriously. Where is he now? Why haven't I ever met him? Is he traveling? The emperor paused, lost in thought. He's gone on a very long journey and will never return. It's a pity I can't introduce him to you. After a moment, the emperor, holding back tears, finally revealed the truth. He's dead. He explained to Bebe Ya that death is a journey from which one never returns. The little princess sat with Father Emperor on the bench. She tried to lead Father Emperor through the forest, to the garden where Jameson was buried. Bebe Ya pressed her father if he missed him. but the emperor seemed to be deliberately avoiding the question, saying it's been many years and there's no use in thinking about it. At this moment, Jameson was hiding in the forest, watching their conversation. Never mind if it's useful or not, I'm just asking if you miss him. But for some reason, when she heard the emperor say he missed him very much, Bebe Ya felt a sharp pain in her heart. Seeing this, the emperor immediately stood up to call a doctor for the little princess. But Bebe Ya held the emperor's arm, indicating she was just feeling a bit heartache and it wasn't serious. Although the emperor was smiling just now, Bebe Ya said she felt an inexplicable sadness, which caused her heart to ache. This explanation sounded a bit strange, and she didn't know how it happened. The emperor was shocked and told Bebe Ya that this was part of his power. The emperor explained to Bebe Ya why she felt the heartache, and said he didn't know about it at the time. Bebe Ya had been switched with Lillian. Bebe Ya was suddenly confused, remembering that Jameson had clearly said she had no power, but Lillian did. The emperor suddenly hugged Bebe Ya. I'm sorry I didn't tell you these things earlier. Come, I'll take you to see him, to see the place where the person who makes me so sad rests. Bebe Ya's eyes widened, unable to believe these words came from the emperor himself. The emperor took Bebe Ya's hand, and they walked towards the forest. Actually, Jameson is right here, but you can't see him. But no matter what, Jameson knows your intentions. The emperor finally agreed to open up his long-held emotional knot for the little princess. At this moment, Bebe Ya also understood that Father Emperor didn't not want to come, but that he couldn't face that bone-deep sorrow alone again. He held hands with Bebe Ya as they walked towards the flower field. Suddenly, he lowered his head and asked Bebe Ya, "Didn't you know there was such a place in the palace? The garden is beyond the forest." Bebe Ya put on a curious expression, saying this was really the first time she'd heard about it. In reality, she had been here many times. Haha. The emperor said seriously, "Not just anyone can enter this place. It's said to be a place under a spell. Only those with pure hearts, good children like Bebe Ya, can enter." This explanation sounds even more far-fetched than my inexplicable chest pain reason. Could he be trying to fool me? A child? But thinking carefully, Lisa Bell was able to freely come and go with me before, but last time she really couldn't enter this forest. The requirements are indeed quite high. Bebe Ya plunged into such a beautiful flower field. She twirled and jumped, shouting, "Father, it's so beautiful here." The emperor, of course, was in no mood to look at these flowers. His expression was solemn, holding back tears as he slowly walked over. "This is where Jameson rests. Although it's been a long time since I came, these flowers are blooming terrifyingly similar to that day." The emperor crouched down, no longer able to hold back his tears. "Brother died because of me. What happened that day wasn't brother's fault at all, but in the end, he had to bear all of it." As he spoke, he recalled the day of the incident. It was the birthday of their older brother Lucas, and the twin brothers were required to attend and pretend to be on very good terms with their older brother, because only this way would they have a few days without being beaten. Bebe Ya was confused. Why would Father Emperor, as a prince, be beaten? Probably because they were still young then, about the same age as Bebe Ya is now, and had no other options. The emperor continued, saying their mother passed away when they were 5 years old, and after that, they were raised by the empress. To outsiders, the empress seemed kind and gentle, but in reality, the two brothers endured abuse and threats. She would kidnap the emperor to threaten his brother, and then kidnap the brother to threaten the emperor. As children, they didn't dare to speak out at the time. Bebe Ya could hardly bear to listen, even if children were afraid to speak. With so many people around, didn't anyone report it to the emperor at that time? The emperor lowered his head, looking even more sorrowful. His wet nurse couldn't stand it anymore and spoke out. Unfortunately, she was discovered by the empress, so the empress specially summoned all the palace maids and beat the wet nurse to death in front of them, saying it was to kill one as a warning to 100. After that, no one dared to speak up for them again. Bebe Ya cried, unable to imagine such things happening to her father. So father had buried these painful memories with his brother deep in his heart for so many years. Seeing Bebe Ya in such pain, the emperor gently asked, "Do you want to continue listening?" Bebe Ya frowned. "Please continue, father. I'm listening carefully." Since their mother's death, the twin brothers had endured countless humiliations. Not only did Lucas isolate them, but he also forcefully poured orange juice on him. to please those children. Finally, Joshua couldn't hold back and retaliated. This successfully angered Lucas, who quickly grabbed a whip and lashed out at Joshua. At this moment, brother Jameson stepped in front, and the whip struck him hard. Lucas shouted for Jameson to move aside, but in the next second, brother suddenly went berserk. He summoned his inner power, grabbed Lucas by the collar, and instantly threw him out the window. The people at the banquet heard the commotion and rushed over asking, "What happened?" When Joshua tried to approach and calm his brother down, brother shouted, "Don't let him come near," because he feared his power might harm his younger brother. Then the Empress arrived, and seeing Lucas lying on the ground, she nearly had a mental breakdown. The previous emperor ordered Jameson to be placed under house arrest until his brother's death. Bebe Ya asked, "Father, when Jameson was confined here, he must have suffered too, right? Though it wasn't easy, compared to his brother who suffered alone here." He said those experiences were nothing. Bebe Ya was so angry she stomped her foot. "It's all because of that shitty Lucas and the Empress." She looked at her father sympathetically, advising him not to blame himself too much. The emperor turned his head. "Since when did Princess Bebe Ya start using such crude language?" "What's crude? For people like them, being crude is not enough." The emperor gently stroked Bebe Ya's head. "All right, I won't scold you anymore. I can see that Bebe Ya is truly angry." The empress went mad, and Lucas disappeared. In the end, the previous emperor turned a blind eye to it all, and the matter was left unresolved. Bebe Ya was clearly surprised by this outcome. "Is that it? It feels like using the toilet without flushing. Uncomfortable and incomplete." At this point, the emperor lowered his head, seeming evasive. "Don't think about it anymore. It's all in the past now." The sensible Bebe Ya knew to leave the remaining time for the two brothers. Although it was a one-sided conversation, it must have been rare for them. "Thank you, Bebe." Jameson stood behind the emperor, quietly listening to his brother's words. Time passed quickly, and night fell. Bebe Ya had unknowingly fallen asleep under the tree. The emperor woke her up, saying softly, "It's very late. Children should go to bed now." Bebe Ya was drowsy, almost mistaking the emperor for Jameson. Then she suddenly woke up. "Oh, it's father." This was the first time Princess Bebe Ya called the emperor father, without honorifics. The emperor was both surprised and delighted. He had been waiting for this moment for who knows how long. The emperor told Bebe Ya, "Call me like this from now on. No need for honorifics." Then, he expressed that he had so much more to say to his brother, and planned to come here often. He seemed to have untied a knot in his heart, smiling. However, inwardly he felt helpless. "I really don't want you to come often. Otherwise I'll have to hide from you every time I come." As they were about to return to the palace, the emperor suddenly turned back. "In the next life, I truly want to be brothers again, and then it will be my turn to protect my older brother." Bebe Ya returned to her room, and after being settled by Lisa Bell, she secretly got up again and picked up that mysterious book. The story's direction started to feel off. Suddenly it felt as if the book had changed authors. Why was Lillian getting better and better? Bebe Ya sat on the bed, doubting the content of this book. She knew it by heart, but this time when she opened it, it was very different from before. She remembered that when she first read it, the book was full of Bebe Ya's grievances and her disappointment in her father. But now, as Bebe Ya herself, it was hard to dislike this father anymore. Despite this, she kept asking herself, "Did I read this part before?" When father is heartbroken, I'm heartbroken too. When father is happy, I can feel happy too. This is indeed the same as Bebe Ya's feelings, but I hadn't seen it before. Then, the book wrote that she should make good use of this. Seeing this, Bebe Ya was shocked. "This isn't right. I never thought about exploiting father's feelings. What's going on here?" She continued reading. The original owner wrote that when she felt like her heart was being cut by a knife, she knew that father must be heartbroken too. When the original owner tugged on the emperor's sleeve and asked if he was heartbroken, she said she could feel it too. "So you like me more than Lillian, right?" In an instant, the emperor pushed Bebe Ya's hand away and shouted at her, "You say you can feel his pain, but why are you smiling?" The emperor left, leaving Bebe Ya alone. She didn't understand what she had done wrong. Is a little girl who just wants her father's love wrong? Reading this, Bebe Ya slammed the book shut with a bang. The original owner just wanted to get her father's love. How did it turn into deliberately trying to exploit others' feelings? Ever since that cat transformed into this book, Bebe Ya had been using it as a reference. But from the current situation, the story's direction started to become distorted, adding many incredible plots at will. Bebe Ya curled up in the corner of the bed, unsure if she could trust this book anymore. Until the next morning, Bebe Ya had been pondering what happened to that book. After staying up most of the night, she still couldn't figure it out. Her long unseen big brother suddenly appeared in Bebe Ya's room, picking up a teacup and sipping contentedly. "It's still more comfortable staying here with you. You clearly have your own place to go. Why do you always hang around here?" Big brother joked that the attendants around him were like surveillance cameras, reporting every little movement to the emperor. He envied Bebe Ya for having a loyal maid. Bea, they claim to be loyal indeed, but don't think they're easy to deal with. Amid their banter, Bebe Ya suddenly threw a question at her big brother. She asked him, "Do you want to hear father's true thoughts? Like his real feelings about you?" Hearing the question, Big brother's expression immediately turned serious, his lips curling up. "His true feelings? Haven't I heard enough of those? From childhood to now, he said every hurtful thing possible. What good could there be to hear?" "Stop, stop. You can't take those as his true feelings. I'm talking about calm, emotionless inner thoughts." The kind-hearted Bebe Ya had already changed her attitude towards her father. She was also trying to change the relationship between her big brother and father. After a moment of silence, Big brother agreed, "But remember, no matter the result, this is the only time." Oh dear. It's time for the little princess to improvise. She had made full preparations to help her big brother improve his relationship with their father. All that was left was to bring the emperor to the flower field. Speak of the devil. The emperor arrived punctually at dusk. "Dear, let's go for a walk." Wasn't it always the emperor who came to ask Bebe Ya for a walk? Why is Bebe Ya asking the emperor now? Bebe Ya didn't want the emperor to have any hesitation. It would be better if he suggested the walk himself. She wanted to use the same strategy as last time to get the emperor to speak his true feelings. So she had the crown prince wait in the flower field early. But who knew the emperor wouldn't follow the usual pattern and just sat down? To make things go smoothly, Bebe Ya had no choice but to loudly tell Father Emperor that she really wanted to go for a walk. The emperor was quite accommodating to the little princess and took her hand directly. "Let's go." They sat on a bench in the flower field, and Bebe Ya spoke first to the emperor. "I have something to say to you, and it's a questioning. Okay?" The emperor smiled. "Oh, it feels both exciting and scary." When Bebe Ya mentioned her big brother Eltarion, the emperor was indeed taken aback. "Dear, please look into my eyes. Have you really never disliked brother?" The emperor fell silent, finally giving Bebe Ya an answer. The emperor admitted that he indeed didn't like him. The big brother, who had been hiding behind the trees early on, almost lost control when he heard this. He was seen punching the tree hard to express his inner anger. "Wait, things shouldn't develop like this. This is bad. I can't accept this result." Once again, it was proven that the book could no longer be used as a reference. Faced with the little princess's soul-searching questions, the emperor finally admitted that the poor relationship with the crown prince was all his own fault. The emperor lowered his head and sobbed, "I'm the one who failed to protect them. When Eltarion fell into the water, I wasn't by his side. When the children's mother refused to take medicine for Geno, I didn't insist either." The emperor, filled with extreme remorse, couldn't find an outlet for his emotions and was unable to calm his sorrow. Unconsciously, he directed all his anger towards Eltarion. Bebe Ya's heart ached as she asked the emperor, "Have you really never loved brother?" The emperor recalled when the crown prince was just born. He tightly held the emperor's hand, showing an angelic smile. At that moment, he was incredibly adorable. The emperor was even willing to trade his life for his son's lifelong safety. But after so many years, their relationship had become a habit, and he just couldn't find a way to express it. Hearing this, the crown prince hiding in the woods silently turned and returned to the palace. Bebe Ya watched her brother's retreating figure, wondering if his efforts would bring about a change. The change came faster than she imagined, like a drop of ink falling into clear water. The next morning, the emperor came to Bebe Ya's room as usual, but as soon as he opened the door, he saw the crown prince was also there. Bebe Ya folded her arms. "Can you two not gather in my room so early in the morning?" The next second, they both said in unison that they came to have breakfast with the little princess. This damned tacit understanding made father and son look at each other, falling into awkwardness. Although they disturbed Bebe Ya's peace early in the morning, at least the father and son started to communicate, which could be considered a good start. The little princess's reaction to strangers is really cute. That day, she was leaning on the windowsill, sighing that she had solved another big problem and could finally have some peace. But now father kept going to the flower field, making it difficult for her to go there. She needed to think of a solution. At this moment, two young men passed by downstairs. They looked familiar, as if she had seen them somewhere before. When one of the young men looked up at Bebe Ya's window, She quickly hid behind the curtain, then she slowly peeked out to observe. Go and greet him. It was a good opportunity to get to know him. While Bebe Ya was still hesitating, she suddenly heard someone knocking on the door. She thought for a moment. Lizabelle had gone to make a cake. Who could it be? When she opened the door, a handsome young man appeared before her eyes. At this moment, Bebe Ya wasn't prepared for how to greet him, so she slammed the door shut with a bang. The young man left outside the door was bewildered, and the little princess inside was also at a loss. What am I doing? Why am I so nervous? How did he appear here? Just as the young man was about to turn and leave, Bebe Ya quickly opened the door and called out to him. The young man carefully said that he had brought some snacks from his home and wanted the princess to try them. He also said he wasn't a bad person. His name was El Pierce, and he was Gerben's brother. The little princess led him into the room, praising the bread he brought as looking really good. El Pierce talked eloquently while Bebe Ya contentedly ate cookies. It had been a long time since she felt so relaxed. Usually it was either endless conflicts and arguments, or those sad memories, and those people who were always worrying about her. But Pierce was warm and ordinary, like a little chick. Seemingly a simple person. Who knew he was actually quite clever? Seeing Bebe Ya enjoying the cookies, El Pierce suggested going for a picnic, saying it would be a shame to waste such nice weather. At this moment, Lizabelle came over. Don't you dare take her running around everywhere. If you dare to take her out, I'll tell on you to your brother. Bebe Ya complained that Lizabelle was too strict with her, and her room was on the second floor, making it difficult to go out with so many eyes watching. Then the clever boy suddenly thought of an idle room on the first floor, suggesting they move there. Although it was a good idea, they still needed a reason. They couldn't just say she didn't want to live next to Father Emperor, right? Pierce looked confident. Finding an excuse isn't difficult. Bebe Ya looked at him curiously. Then he leaned close to Bebe Ya's ear. After listening, Bebe Ya smiled mischievously, saying it was a very good idea and worth trying. The next morning, Father Emperor and Big Brother came to have breakfast with the little princess. Bebe Ya decided to try Pierce's method. She pretended to have no appetite, sighing. A bad mood really affects one's appetite. There are always some things you want but can't have. Bebe Ya's words caught the emperor's attention, and he said that as a foreign princess, she could just tell him directly if she wanted anything. Bebe Ya immediately perked up. Does father keep his word? Upon hearing this, Big Brother had already seen through Bebe Ya's little trick, sensing that the emperor might fall for it. Sure enough, right after the emperor said his word was as good as gold, Bebe Ya said she wanted to move to that room on the first floor. At this moment, the emperor looked slightly awkward, unsure whether to agree to Bebe Ya's request. Somehow, the little princess had learned Liliana's technique of pretending to be pitiful and aggrieved. Firmly grasping the emperor who was a daughter-doting father, the little princess adopted the idea given by Pierce, successfully making the emperor fall into her trap. But adults always have various reasons to refuse children, saying they could satisfy anything Bebe Ya wanted, but not her. Looking at Bebe Ya's pleading big eyes, there seemed to be nothing else to do but agree. After the emperor left, Big Brother praised Bebe Ya's technique endlessly. This time your method was really sophisticated. When did you learn to use moral blackmail? Bebe Ya secretly rejoiced. Who told me I have a strategist now? After getting the emperor's permission, Bebe Ya decided to move immediately after breakfast. One book, one teddy bear, and the rest you can handle as you like. Big Brother and the emperor also arrived at the moving scene. One remarked how quickly the child acted, while the other comforted himself. She's probably afraid of getting more attached if it drags on too long. Bebe Ya didn't know when these two clingy people had arrived, so she grabbed Lizabelle's hand, planning to slip away while they weren't paying attention. They arrived at the library, and Bebe Ya called softly, "Rob, open the door quickly." She also instructed Rebelli that if anyone came by later, to say she wasn't there, like Father Kane, and Father Kane. Rebelli didn't know why the little princess was avoiding His Majesty like this. It wasn't that she was afraid, but she was quite annoyed. Rebelli smiled. Then the little princess can read in peace. This book was constantly rewriting its contents. What was its purpose? Just then, Bebe Ya suddenly noticed, why haven't I seen this pattern before? The little princess unexpectedly discovered that her treasured book had somehow acquired a strange pattern. She tried touching it and found it wasn't newly drawn, The pattern looked like some kind of magical design, but among all these books, she couldn't find the answer she wanted. So Bebe Ya had the idea of tearing out this page to ask someone else, but even using all her strength, Bebe Ya couldn't tear off this page at all. Bebe Ya called out to Rebelli outside the door, asking him to find advanced books on magic, hoping to find answers from them. After rummaging through the library, Rebelli neatly stacked 3 piles of books in front of Bebe Ya. These books were not only numerous but also very thick. It would take forever to find what she needed. After much consideration, Bebe Ya decided to show this mysterious book to Rebelli. "Have you seen this pattern before?" Upon seeing the pattern, Rebelli was shocked. She told the princess that she had indeed seen this pattern before. Bebe Ya eagerly asked where she had seen it and to take her there. But at this moment, Rebelli grabbed Bebe Ya, expressing deep regret that she might not be able to see that book. Under Bebe Ya's strong insistence, Rebelli had no choice but to lead the little princess to the door of the room containing that book. "The book is inside, but to enter, you must have the emperor's permission." How awkward. Having to get his permission again, there was no other choice but to obtain the emperor's approval. Bebe Ya had to lower her head, deciding to apply for it even if it meant troubling him again. Bebe Ya gazed in the direction of that room, wondering what book was inside. Could it be something that could change the world? What? Rebelli, who looked about the same age as Princess Bebe Ya, was actually older than the emperor. While Princess Bebe Ya was pondering what unspeakable secret was hidden upstairs, Rebelli brought over a cup of tea. "Princess, you mustn't set your sights on upstairs." Interrupted in her thoughts, Bebe Ya quickly picked up a book, pretending to be reading seriously, indicating she had no ulterior motives. But she held the book upside down, and was mercilessly mocked by Rebelli. "Actually, to be honest, she didn't really need to go upstairs. Since it's about magic, I should be able to ask Jenkinson, right?" At this moment, Rebelli suddenly threw out a question, as if he knew about Bebe Ya and Jenkinson's story. Bebe Ya stammered, "I just went for a walk with father in the flower field." Rebelli looked at the little princess's expression. "Indeed, if it's inconvenient to say, you can choose not to tell me." Bebe Ya's little mind raced. Since Rebelli would ask this, he must know something too. So, Bebe Ya bravely explained the situation to Rebelli. "We went to see father and brother, who is actually my uncle." Hearing this, Rebelli burst into tears. Bebe Ya was at a loss, worried if she had said something wrong. It turned out Rebelli's tears were of excitement. Thanks to Bebe Ya's appearance, the emperor was able to return to that forest again, finally finding solace for his long-standing yearning. Bebe Ya looked confused. No, you must have misunderstood something. How could you possibly know about Jenkinson's imprisonment?" At this point, Lizabelle stepped in to explain. Although Rebelli looks only slightly older than the princess, he's actually older than His Majesty. People filled with obsession can't find the truth of matters. Bebe Ya bid farewell to Rebelli and returned to her room. It turns out that not only father and Jenkinson were trapped in that past, unable to let go, the little princess inadvertently helped Rebelli, which could be seen as a kind of compensation to him. After all, she had caused him quite a bit of trouble lately. The kind-hearted little princess wanted to help more people, but not including her. One doesn't visit the temple without a cause. Second brother Geno came to see Bebe Ya in person for some unknown reason. Oh my, it seems there's a mosquito flying around, buzzing in my ear constantly. How annoying. Just as Bebe Ya was leaving, she was grabbed by the arm by her second brother. "Don't go. I have something to ask you." At this moment, Bebe Ya was quite disgusted with this person. She told her second brother to let go of her hand quickly. The second brother seemed hesitant, losing his previous arrogant demeanor. It seems he really did have something important this time. He stammered, "Is Lillian really not my biological sister? Didn't you say before that Lillian was a fake princess?" "Ah, I did say that. You didn't believe me then. But now you're here asking me for answers. What exactly do you want?" The second brother spoke in a low voice. "I just want you to formally answer me once. Is Lillian really not my biological sister?" This person was about to make the little princess explode with anger. "Go find the answer yourself. Only the answer you verify yourself will you believe." After Bebe Ya left, the second brother was left standing there, at a loss, looking at the room she had just moved into. Bebe Ya sighed at how big and spacious it was, feeling good. However, she always remembered her purpose in coming to this world, thinking about things. If things continue to develop as they are now, it's not good. Everyone is paying less and less attention to Lillian. which means she might be the one to be sacrificed in the future. The current state of the green tea spirit Lillian can't be described with just the word miserable. Without her mother's care, her life was in shambles. After some thought, Bebe Ya decided to go talk to Lillian, but before she could enter the door, she was stopped by two maids. Is Lillian not inside? If she's not, that would be disobeying the emperor's orders. Just as Bebe Ya pushed the door open, a porcelain jar flew out of the room and hit the door, nearly injuring someone. Seeing this, the maids all said to the little princess, "Better not go in. It's too dangerous here." Our domineering Bebe Ya didn't fall for this at all. With a bang, the two maids were locked outside. The scene of prosperity inside the room surprised Bebe Ya. How long has it been since this room was cleaned? It's too messy. Lillian turned her head. Her fierce eyes were frightening. What are you doing here? Come to laugh at me? Before Bebe Ya could speak, Lillian told her to get out quickly. Seeing the room like a garbage dump, she felt a pang in her heart. Poor Lillian. She grabbed Lillian's hand. Stop going crazy. I have something to ask you. Lillian quickly withdrew her hand and started cursing at Bebe Ya. The next second she turned around and started crying loudly. She's really beyond help. Now you know to cry? If you knew it would come to this, why did you do it in the first place? It's all because you brought yourself to this state. Just tell me, do you want to regain Father Emperor's love? Hearing this, Lillian stopped crying. Are you here to joke with me? Lillian's current state was beyond comprehension. At this point, Bebe Ya started to get impatient. Father Emperor really changed his view of Bebe Ya, starting from when she saved Lillian from drowning. If you really want to regain Father Emperor's doting, why not make some changes? So this time, let's reverse it and you save me once. How about that? In order to ultimately become the sacrifice herself, Bebe Ya decided that she must make Father continue to dote on Lillian. She found Lillian. If you want to regain Father Emperor's love, you must make changes. Why not reenact the story of falling into the water? But this time you save me? After returning to the palace, Bebe Ya experienced many things and helped many people. One day, she suddenly had a thought. How nice it would be if they could live like a real family. Her heart began to waver. This time, let's really reconcile. Because you need Father Emperor's love more than I do. Lillian lowered her head. Do you really want Father Emperor to love me again? As Bebe Ya was turning to leave, Lillian took out the float she wore when she fell into the water last time. It was broken before, but now it had been repaired. Bebe Ya gladly accepted it. Then Lillian voluntarily said that it was all her fault before, and now she wanted to live peacefully with Bebe Ya in the palace. So, miraculously, the two reconciled and held hands. However, at this point, Bebe Ya naively believed that Lillian would really change for the better. A few days later, Bebe Ya came to find Father Emperor and Big Brother who were studying, saying she suddenly wanted to go boating on the lake. Big Brother, who had severe psychological trauma from that lake, heard this and couldn't understand what Bebe Ya was up to this time. Then Bebe Ya suggested to Father Emperor to invite Geno and Lillian as well. The father and sons arrived at the lakeside early, followed by Geno and Lillian. The emperor told everyone to get on the boat quickly. At this time, Father Emperor extended his hand to Bebe Ya. "Bae, let me help you." If she sat on the same boat as Father Emperor, the two princesses' plan couldn't proceed as scheduled. So Bebe Ya strongly pushed her second brother Geno. "You go sit with Father Emperor quickly." The green tea spirit's clever move thus began. After arranging for Father Emperor and second brother Geno to board the boat, Bebe Ya and Lillian also got on the same boat. After some time, the two moving boats had a certain distance between them. This position ensured they could be seen, but not clearly. Just as Bebe Ya was looking for the right moment to get into the water, Lillian noticed that Bebe Ya hadn't brought the float she had given her. Bebe Ya said she could swim, so she didn't need it at all. Lillian thought that if she didn't bring the float, her plan couldn't succeed, so she kindly reminded her, "What if there's danger?" The next second, teary-eyed Lillian said in a trembling voice, "I don't want anything to happen to you." The poor acting successfully made Bebe Ya let down her guard. Seeing Lillian so concerned for her, she felt at ease and put on the float. "As soon as I jump into the water, you shout for help first. When everyone notices this side, then you jump in to save me." Bebe Ya touched the cold lake water, still hesitating a bit. However, Lillian was already impatient and started urging her to jump quickly. Just as Bebe Ya was worrying that her heavy dress might hinder her swimming and wanted to take it off, Lillian reached out and directly pushed her in. The moment she fell into the water, Bebe Ya's intelligence suddenly came back online. She immediately realized something was wrong. When she looked at the boat, Lillian's evil face was revealed. Father originally belonged to me. Why should I need you to give him to me? Bebe Ya struggled to grab the edge of the boat with her hand, but the vicious Lillian stepped on her hand, continuously telling her to die quickly. At this moment, Bebe Ya fully realized that Lillian's talk of reconciliation had always been a lie. In the last moments of her life, the little princess seemed to hear a voice echoing in her ear, one of which was so familiar, like Lillian's. What's going on? Why could she have a calm conversation with Lillian? Lillian on the boat looked at Bebe Ya in the water, a strange smile on her face. At this time, the float Lillian had given Bebe Ya seemed to be sinking continuously. The more she struggled, the more severely the float sank. Bebe Ya thrashed about in the lake shouting for help, but unfortunately, no one noticed her. At this time, the emperor was lecturing the second brother, and the big brother had been called away by a minister to see the emperor. She regretted being so stupid as to believe someone like Lillian. At this moment, she also understood that some people's wickedness is innate. She struggled with her last strength, never imagining she would die at Lillian's hands in the end. At the critical moment, a large hand quietly reached out to Bebe Ya. She heard someone constantly calling her. This scent was Jenkinson's scent. This temperature was the warmth of sunlight in the flower field. Bebe Ya, feeling only lightness, seemed about to leave this world the next second. Jenkinson anxiously called out to Bebe Ya, giving her the strength of voice, accompanied by a coughing sound. Bebe Ya suddenly opened her eyes. When the little princess returned to her room, Bear immediately pounced on her. She hugged Bear tightly. I thought I'd never see Bear again. Wait, who actually rescued me? Was it Jenkinson? Bebe Ya frantically shook Bear, asking him to quickly tell her where Jenkinson was now and how he was. Bear cried loudly. The creator broke into the forbidden area of the palace to save the princess. What could make Jenkinson risk everything to break into the palace's forbidden area to save the little princess, even if he would be dissolved by the barrier and completely disappear? In the room, Bear kept crying loudly because he could no longer feel the creator's presence at this moment. Hearing the news, Bebe Ya instantly panicked. She ran straight to the flower field in the middle of the night, not even bothering to put on shoes. Bear quickly followed his master, constantly rejoicing on the way that they had moved to the first floor earlier, which was incredibly convenient. She arrived at the flower field and shouted Jenkinson's name. At this time, Jenkinson was lying dying among the flowers. He weakly tried to stop Bebe Ya from coming closer, hoping she could give him a bit more time, but Bebe Ya couldn't care less about that. The moment she saw Jenkinson, she was nearly scared to death. Half of his body had already been dissolved by that powerful force, with his right hand reduced to exposed white bone. Bebe Ya's tears flowed like a spring as she grabbed Jenkinson's hand and cried bitterly. It was all because of her that Jenkinson had ended up like this. Even when she had missed her brother so much before, she hadn't dared to step past the barrier. Yet today he chose to willingly sacrifice himself to save her. Jenkinson gently stroked Bebe Ya, comforting her not to worry too much, saying the dissolved parts would grow back. Bebe Ya hugged Jenkinson tightly, saying she wouldn't dislike him no matter what he looked like. Jenkinson looked at the little princess lovingly. I won't die, because you need me to exist. He advised the little princess to go back to the palace quickly. After all, it was so late and she had snuck out without even wearing shoes. Seeing Bebe Ya's worried look, he promised her that he definitely wouldn't disappear. He just needed to rest for a few days. The image of the fake princess in the emperor's heart was completely irretrievable now. Even if he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he would collect evidence and investigate thoroughly. Bebe Ya sadly said goodbye to Jenkinson. On the way back, she kept asking herself why Jenkinson would risk his life so desperately to save her. She wiped her tears, thinking she must formally thank him. Back in her room, Bebe Ya looked at the blanket on the bed, which showed no signs of having been touched, as if no one had really noticed. So he climbed into the room through the window, hugged Bear, and slept until dawn. Even the maids were worried that the little princess hadn't woken up by late morning, wondering if she might be sick. It turned out that the crown prince had said last night that the little princess needed rest and had sent them all away. No wonder no one knew Bebe Ya had sneaked out last night. Lizabelle revealed to Bebe Ya that the emperor had found out it was Lillian who framed the little princess, and this time he wouldn't let her off easily. After all, Bebe Ya didn't have that magic float. It must have been Lillian who tricked her into wearing it. At this moment, Bebe Ya felt extremely embarrassed. Although the words were correct, the idea was her own. Bebe Ya's behavior could really be described by those 4 words. Hearing movement from this side, the emperor immediately rushed over. He hugged Bebe Ya tightly. This incident had really scared him. Bebe Ya sent away the 2 maids to avoid further embarrassment if they overheard. She asked the emperor how the investigation into her falling into the water was going. Although there was no conclusive evidence, the emperor firmly believed that it must have been Lillian who pushed Bebe Ya into the water. After discovering Bebe Ya had fallen into the water, the emperor saw Lillian's boat just staying in place, with her sitting there quietly, looking as if she was happy to see her fall into the water. And that float, I will definitely find out who made it. The real princess's defense of the green tea script almost made Father Emperor cough up blood, sighing at this child's kindness while looking helpless. It said that when the emperor found Bebe Ya, she was protected by a magic sphere, floating to the shore. No one knew what was going on, and everyone speculated that there must be some mage nearby. The emperor was determined to find out who brought that problematic float into the palace, and who was the person who cast the spell to save the little princess. Bebe Ya felt a bit scared afterward. If it weren't for Jenkinson, she probably would have died by now. The emperor's face turned serious. I heard that before you proposed going boating, you went to see Lillian. Why did you go find her? Bebe Ya never thought her plan would fail so completely. She hadn't thought of an excuse when the emperor questioned her, and she stammered, unable to speak, thinking that if her words didn't match with Lillian's side, it would be a big problem. I just wanted to help her regain her father's love. The emperor seemed a bit confused at this point. Why would Bebe Ya do this? There was no reason. Then Bebe Ya started defending Lillian. Maybe she didn't push me on purpose? I said I wanted to help her. Why would she push me? Doesn't that seem a bit unreasonable? To prevent Father Emperor from executing Lillian or expelling her from the palace, she could only use vague excuses like, I don't remember anything, to muddle through. Seeing Bebe Ya's emotional state, the emperor comforted her, telling her not to think about it anymore, to rest well, and leave the rest to him. At this moment, Bebe Ya suddenly called out to the emperor, I think I saw something suddenly kneeling on one knee, which confused the little princess. This scene made her so flustered. Bebe Ya called out to the emperor, hesitating to speak. The emperor turned around. What did you see? She stammered. I think I saw father's brother Jenkinson, wondering if he was the one who saved me. Bebe Ya, possessed by indecision, didn't know whether to take this opportunity to reveal that Jenkinson actually still existed in this world. But she hadn't asked Jenkinson's opinion. What if he didn't want that? She could only awkwardly cover for herself. Maybe it was just a dream while I was unconscious. After hearing this, a wave of sadness washed over the emperor. The previous emperor had said something similar before. That was long after his brother's death, when the previous emperor, drunk, found him and asked, why won't brother just die? How can we kill him? The emperor narrowed his eyes. If it's really as Bebe Ya says, it would be good if he were still alive. Then he turned and left. As soon as the emperor left, there was an urgent knocking at the door. It was the military advisor, Earl Pierce, coming to see the little princess. As soon as he entered, he knelt on one knee. Princess Bebe Ya, please let me be your knight. Bebe Ya had never encountered such a situation and became flustered. What kind of classic scene is this? A knight kneeling before me swearing allegiance. This scene looks like a proposal, doesn't it? Bebe Ya gave herself too much of a role, and just as Pierce asked if the princess was willing, she directly rejected him. Pierce, feeling a bit dejected after being refused, thought he still needed to improve his swordsmanship. But Pierce didn't lose heart. He said he would definitely perform well in the future and strive to become the little princess's knight. This way, he could stay by her side to protect her at all times. The emperor was furious about the little princess falling into the water, warning the fake princess that if she dared to be reckless again, he would take her life. Lizabelle proudly informed the little princess the emperor had found the merchant who sold the fake float. Although they refused to admit there was anything wrong with their float, the only thing that could be confirmed was that Lillian must have given you that float. The emperor's punishment for her was inevitable. Bebe Ya couldn't bear to hear about Lillian being punished at this moment, let alone words like expelling her from the palace. Seeing the little princess hurriedly running towards Lillian's room, Lizabelle really couldn't understand why the little princess would do this. Of course, one should take responsibility for their own actions, but I can't sit idly by and watch a major change in the future course of events. Bebe Ya discovered that Lillian's door was slightly ajar. so she quietly crept to the door to see what was happening inside. Inside was actually Lillian's birth mother, kneeling before the emperor begging for his forgiveness. Wasn't she already expelled from the palace? How did she appear here again? Through this incident, the emperor was utterly disappointed in Lillian. She loudly cursed Rydbull. Lillian doesn't deserve to be called a princess. Back then, when Rydbull tried to assassinate Princess Bebe Ya, she wasn't even executed. It was all because of the father-daughter relationship between the emperor and Lillian. After all, she was the child he had raised for 10 years. The emperor said he had originally intended to raise both children equally, but now, the mother and daughter still wanted to put Princess Bebe Ya to death. The emperor ordered, Debel, tell Lillian I won't kill her, only because of our past father-daughter relationship. If she dares to be reckless again, she will be executed. Hearing this, Rydbull was shocked and refused to convey such cruel words to Lillian. At this moment, the emperor turned his head. Cruel? Compared to what you mother and daughter have done, how is this cruel? Bring Lillian here now. I want you to tell her in front of me. The next second, Bebe Ya hiding behind the door was discovered by the emperor. The arrogant fake princess was finally going to be punished by the emperor. Before this, she naively thought the emperor would continue to spoil her. The emperor discovered Bebe Ya eavesdropping outside the door, picked her up without a word, and was about to take her somewhere. Bebe Ya wanted to ask Father Emperor what was so urgent, but Father Emperor always dismissed her with, "You'll know when we get there." From the emperor's expression, it wasn't hard to see that he was really serious this time. This truly frightened Bebe Ya. No way. Is he going to use me to intimidate Lillian? She struggled in the emperor's arms. Dear, let me down quickly. When they arrived at Lillian's room, the emperor pushed the door open directly. Lillian was seen holding a cookie, eating leisurely. At this moment, her birth mother behind her couldn't bear to watch and reminded Lillian to quickly bow to the emperor. But Lillian was even more arrogant now, not taking anyone seriously. What are you doing here? So annoying. Seeing Bebe Ya standing there safe and sound, she immediately cursed. Bebe Ya is really an unlucky thing. The emperor thought Lillian would reflect well during her confinement, but unexpectedly, she remained unchanged. Lillian argued with the emperor that she had done nothing wrong and had nothing to reflect on. The emperor called Rydbull to tell Lillian the whole truth, but before she could speak, Lillian pushed her to the ground, saying repeatedly, "Don't touch me. Get out." Bebe Ya, watching this scene, thought although Lillian deserved it, being treated like this by her own daughter was still pitiful. The emperor ordered all guards and maids to leave. Then, Lillian also tried to sneak away. At this time, the emperor grabbed Lillian fiercely, throwing her into the room. Rydbull, tell her everything quickly. Tell her everything you know. The fake princess's true identity was finally revealed, but she seemed unable to accept this reality. Rydbull told Lillian that she wasn't royalty at all, and her mother wasn't a palace consort. Rydbull had switched her with Princess Bebe Ya when she was just born. Hearing this news, Lillian couldn't accept the reality. She pointed at Rydbull telling her to get out quickly. Nonsense. This is absurd. Are you saying I was switched with Bebe Ya? That I'm the filthy commoner? The emperor had originally planned to keep it a secret forever. Even knowing Lillian wasn't his biological daughter, he had no intention of abandoning her. Now, Lillian's various actions had greatly disappointed the emperor. If Lillian would swear not to harm Bebe Ya again, she could still stay by the emperor's side. The emperor hoped she wouldn't betray their 10 years of father-daughter relationship. Lillian suddenly raised her head and shouted, "I am the real princess. Bebe Ya is fake. You've all been deceived by her." Then her birth mother Rydbull stopped her, telling Lillian not to continue speaking. Seeing Lillian's obstinacy and refusal to admit her mistakes, the emperor turned and left directly. Watching the emperor's departing figure, she could only cry and shout, "Dad, Lily is here." When the emperor and Bebe Ya walked out of Lillian's room, he suddenly asked Bebe Ya, "Is this all over now?" Bebe Ya was confused. Why did Father Emperor insist on bringing her back to the palace at that time? The emperor first apologized to Bebe Ya, then gave her two choices: the sad truth or a warm lie. Which do you want to hear? Bebe Ya didn't hesitate. She wanted to know what the truth really was. At this moment, the emperor frowned, saying that initially bringing her back was actually to lift the god's curse and save Lillian from her predetermined fate. The emperor had not yet calmed down from the fake princess incident when another uninvited guest appeared in the palace. Bebe Ya looked out the window worriedly. Father Emperor indeed brought her to the palace for sacrifice. Seeing the little princess looking somewhat dejected, the emperor embraced her. She apologized to Bebe Ya, saying she had hurt her before, but from now on, She swore to protect the little princess at all costs. The emperor expressed his love for the little princess, saying it wasn't because of Lillian or anyone else. Bebe Ya thought to herself, if it were the original owner, she would probably be crying her eyes out right now, but now I want to be myself. She asked Father Emperor, could you not expel Lillian from the palace? Although the emperor appeared so strict on the surface, you could still see that Lillian was in his heart. Bebe Ya laughed and said, it doesn't seem like her appearance had broken up their 10-year father-daughter relationship. She cupped the emperor's face with both hands, comforting him. Let's settle it like this. Don't think too much. While thinking, at this moment, we can't let Lillian, this scapegoat, run away. If things could continue to develop as he wished until they came of age, that would be great. Just as Bebe Ya and her big brother were reading books peacefully, Butler Al came in a panic to report to His Majesty, it's done. That person has returned. The Crown Prince and Bebe Ya looked at each other. Who could this person be? Why did it make Father Emperor so shocked? Al said tremblingly, Prince Lucas has returned. He's waiting for the Emperor in the Great Hall now. When Bebe Ya heard this name, she was instantly shocked. How could this person appear again? He was just a background character in the book. There shouldn't have been a chance to meet him. Decades have passed, and someone who shouldn't appear is now in the palace. Hearing that Lucas had arrived at the palace and was now in the Great Hall, the emperor hurriedly stood up. At this time, the crown prince pulled the still dazed Bebe Ya, telling her to follow quickly. When the emperor arrived at the Great Hall, Lucas was sitting so casually in his seat. The emperor clenched his fists. He couldn't believe it. It really was his brother Lucas who had returned. Upon seeing the emperor, Lucas was still very arrogant. Who do we have here? Isn't this my esteemed brother? I can still see traces of your childhood appearance. Seeing Lucas's insolent manner, the emperor rebuked him. Stop the nonsense. Get off that seat that doesn't belong to you. That seat has always belonged to me. These words seemed to suddenly enrage Lucas, and he put on an overbearing attitude. The more the emperor wanted him to come down, the more unruly he became, saying he was the first heir to the throne. The emperor retorted, you were the one who gave up your inheritance rights and snuck away back then. After all these years, now you want to come back and inherit the throne? Dream on. Lucas said calmly, isn't it all because of that monster brother of yours that he got hurt? So he just went to recover. Hearing Lucas call his brother a monster, he couldn't take it anymore. Lucas stared at the crown prince and princess Bebe Ya. My life became miserable because of you. Yet here you are having children and living freely. Bebe Ya hid behind her big brother, sighing, this person is so scary. It's absolutely chilling. At this moment, the emperor ordered, seize Lucas immediately. Just as the soldiers were rushing forward, Lucas shouted, who dares to come forward? I am the true master of this position. Who dares to touch me? Lucas, who was overbearing just a second ago, was now raising his hands in surrender? He gave a cold laugh, indicating that he was just joking. However, seeing the emperor treat his long-lost brother like this, isn't it too heartless? The emperor questioned Lucas, from childhood to now, have you ever acted like a big brother, expecting me to treat you politely? Are you worthy? The emperor held the hands of the crown prince and the little princess, about to take them away. At this moment, the atmosphere suddenly became tense. According to imperial law, Lucas had the right to stay. Even the emperor couldn't break this rule. Bebe Ya looked back at Lucas, thinking, this scary person, please don't let him stay in the palace. She raised her head, her panicked eyes revealing fear. Emperor, don't let him stay. The emperor sensed something was amiss, so he ordered his brother to take Bebe Ya back to her room first. But Bebe Ya was really worried about the emperor staying here alone, and insisted on staying. But in the end, she couldn't argue with Father Emperor, and reluctantly left with her big brother. Her brother comforted her, Father Emperor will be fine. Trust that he can handle Lucas's issue. As the sun was about to set, there was still no news from Father Emperor's side. Bebe Ya felt depressed. That was the person who caused Jenkinson's death and left Father Emperor with great pain. Until Father Emperor returned, the Crown Prince and Bebe Ya had never left this place. He asked the Emperor, has Lucas left? The Emperor just shook his head, without saying a word. That night, the Emperor stayed with them like this until the next morning. Although they didn't know what he and Lucas had talked about, from the Emperor's behavior, it seemed the result wasn't good. Anyway, From that day on, Lucas stayed in the palace. The green tea spirit once again snuck out during her confinement period, and coincidentally had a direct encounter with the Emperor. Faced with the Emperor's rebuke, Lillian's acting skills kicked in, skillfully using a squeaky voice to talk to Father Emperor. "Dad, why are you only targeting me? Do you really not love me anymore?" Bebe Ya, who was with the Emperor, frowned. This guy is making a fuss again. To teach Lillian a lesson, the Emperor didn't answer her question, but directly ordered the guards to take Lillian away. If she was found sneaking out again, even the guards watching her would be executed. The Emperor discovered the second prince, Geno, hiding in the corner eavesdropping. He shouted at the guards, who let him out this time. Assisting Lillian's escape is also a crime. Hearing such severe consequences, Geno instantly withdrew his half-exposed body. With the Emperor uttering, "Geno," he knew he couldn't escape this time. The Emperor interrogated, "Did you bring Lillian out?" He complained that Geno was always so willful, disregarding his words along with Lillian. "If that's the case, why don't we?" The Crown Prince interrupted the Emperor's words. He advised Father Emperor to think thrice before punishing Lillian. Given Lillian's personality, provoking her at this time might not yield the results everyone wanted to see. The big brother's words hit the mark for Bebe Ya, who praised him for being spot on. A moment later, the Emperor ordered Geno's room to be moved next to his. No matter how much Geno objected, the Emperor wanted him to stay away from Lillian, letting Lillian reflect quietly in her own chambers. At this moment, Geno suddenly had tears in his eyes, saying he didn't want to move because Lillian had been acting strange lately, different from before. The next second, he pointed at Bebe Ya behind the Emperor. "It's since she entered the palace. I don't know if the second prince has been poisoned by the fake princess." He would unconditionally believe Lillian's false persona. He shouted at Bebe Ya, "Originally, Lillian was so innocent and lovely. It's all because Bebe Ya came to the palace that Lillian became like that." Bebe Ya hid behind her big brother with a grieved face. And at this moment, the big brother finally stood up to uphold justice. A person's true nature won't be changed by a small incident. If they've changed, it means they were bad to the core from the beginning. Then they turned and left. Bebe Ya quietly asked her big brother, "Is it really okay to isolate Lillian like this?" The Crown Prince's eyes were determined. Father Emperor is angry right now. This is already letting Lillian off easy. The next second, the Crown Prince sensed something off about Bebe Ya. "Why are you suddenly afraid of Lillian being lonely? Weren't you always mortal enemies? Shouldn't you be hoping for this to happen to her?" To avoid raising more suspicion from the Crown Prince, she lied to her brother, saying she was simply afraid Lillian might cause trouble. Jenkinson disappeared, yet Lucas appeared at this time, and the little princess didn't want any more accidents to happen. Ever since Lucas stayed in the palace, the Emperor had stationed many knights to ensure Bebe Ya's safety. On this day, she finally couldn't bear it anymore. The one who should be restricted is clearly Lucas, but now it feels more like we're the ones in prison. The Emperor, watching the little princess's retreating figure, was still worried about her safety. Lucas probably won't go to that place, so it should be safe there, right? She can go to the flower field. Bebe Ya had a smile on her face, telling Lizabelle to wait for her outside. Although Bebe Ya leaving Lizabelle's sight made her a bit uneasy, even if the little princess allowed, she couldn't enter. "Have you seen Minnie Jenkinson?" The little princess blew a breath, which felt like a fierce storm to him. Bebe Ya arrived at the flower field, but it was empty. She looked at Bear Baby, suddenly bursting into tears. Self-reproach. If it weren't for her, Jenkinson wouldn't have gotten into trouble. Bear Baby comforted Bebe Ya. "The creator should be fine. After all, he can still move. There's no problem." It turns out Bear Baby was following Jenkinson. If Jenkinson disappeared, Bear Baby would also become an ordinary stuffed toy. She gently stroked that piece of land. "I shouldn't have left you alone here back then." Bebe Ya bent down, telling Jenkinson about everything that had happened in the palace during those days. Then she picked a small flower. "You know what? That awful Lucas is back." The next second, a familiar voice came from behind, but when Bebe Ya turned around, she didn't see anyone. The little princess was terrified, suspecting she was hearing things, and hugged Bear Baby tightly. Could it be a ghost? At this moment, Bear Baby seemed to sense something. He hurriedly jumped down to find the creator, but just then, that voice came from the grass in front. "Watch out, you almost stepped on me." A tiny black shadow appeared before her eyes. Could this be Jenkinson? Bebe Ya held him in her palm, asking in disbelief, "Is it really you?" She didn't understand why Jenkinson had become so small. He smiled awkwardly. "Well, that's a long story." After confirming it was Jenkinson, Bebe Ya started crying, thinking she might never see him again. Seeing Bebe Ya's reaction, he was quite overwhelmed. He explained to Bebe Ya, if he hadn't shrunk to conserve energy, he might not exist anymore. Surprisingly, even Minnie Jenkinson's cursing was so cute, which left the little princess stunned. Jenkinson asked Bebe Ya to hold him in her palm. He asked, "What's happening in the palace?" Bebe Ya lowered her head. "That Jenkinson you know came back. He says he's Father Emperor's brother, and Father calls him that too." Hearing this news, Jenkinson immediately got angry, cursing that lunatic for daring to return to the palace. The next second, Jenkinson returned to a rational state, asking Bebe Ya, "Do you know why Lucas came back, since Lucas's return?" Bebe Ya had only met him once. Afterwards, Father Emperor strictly prohibited meeting him, and she had to report her schedule to Father Emperor when going out. Jenkinson recalled, "Previously, the Emperor just wanted to protect you all. After all, that lunatic had cruelly abused the two brothers before." Then Jenkinson told the little princess to go back quickly. Otherwise, in this situation, Father Emperor would worry if he couldn't find her. But Bebe Ya said she didn't sneak out. She just told her father she was going out for some air, just not knowing she'd come to the flower field. Bebe Ya complained to Jenkinson, saying he should have let her know earlier that he was still alive. This matter was really worrying. At this moment, Bear Baby also chimed in, questioning whether this mini person was really the creator. As a result, Jenkinson lightly tapped him with magic, and Bear Baby collapsed on the ground, unable to move. Looking at the disciplined Bear Baby, she asked him, "Now can you confirm he's Jenkinson? Haha." Bebe Ya patted Bear Baby's head, "Nice hairstyle." Then she obediently let Jenkinson climb onto her head. "It's so soft and comfortable." She asked, "Where is Lucas now?" At this point, Bebe Ya was very sad. "He's in the palace. They say we can't drive him away because of some imperial law." Hearing about the imperial law, Jenkinson couldn't help but give Bear Baby a hard punch. Damn it, what imperial law? Hearing that the emperor, because of the imperial law set by the first emperor, couldn't drive that detestable Lucas out of the palace, Jenkinson couldn't hold back and started cursing. Plus with his miniature size, it made Bebe Ya laugh. Realizing his mistake, Jenkinson immediately apologized to Bebe Ya, saying he shouldn't use such language in front of children. To protect the number of royal offspring, the first emperor decreed that any adult with royal blood has the right to return to the palace. Initially, the royal family was united, and such a law seemed reasonable. However now, it's being exploited by someone like Lucas. Jenkinson was muttering to himself contentedly, but the little princess was getting a bit impatient. "Let's talk about your situation during this time instead." Jenkinson told Bebe Ya about the difficulties at that time. Although he had promised Bebe Ya he wouldn't disappear, but given the situation then, he was also worried for himself. What he didn't expect was that with just that brief contact, that barrier nearly killed him. Jenkinson sighed. He should have listened to the god's words after all. He regretted being a bit too willful. That night, after Bebe Ya left, Jenkinson struggled to maintain his form, but eventually couldn't hold on. He felt the power throughout his body starting to dissipate, so he had to shrink his body. He thought he would keep shrinking until he disappeared, but unexpectedly, it miraculously stabilized later. He boasted to Bebe Ya, "See how amazing I am. I bet even the god didn't expect me to survive." Do you think I might have power to rival the god? Jenkinson's sixth sense was quite accurate. Only this feeling told him that something might not be right. To avoid worrying the little princess too much, Jenkinson actively eased the tension, joking that he didn't die even when touching the barrier, which might be unexpected even for the god. But Bebe Ya didn't seem to buy it. She looked at Jenkinson with a straight face, using her hand that was huge compared to Jenkinson, and patted his head. He shouted, "Be careful not to mess up his hair." Jenkinson explained to Bebe Ya, he did this to make the little princess happy, not wanting to see her looking worried. He promised that he would survive no matter what. Bebe Ya thought for a long time, and still decided to tell Jenkinson about that incident. She blamed herself for being too stupid, thinking she was clever and could see through others' thoughts, but nearly ended up dead with no burial. Thanks to Jenkinson's timely appearance, she survived. As soon as Bebe Ya finished speaking, Jenkinson urgently told the little princess to go back quickly, because he sensed some uneasy restlessness in the air. Bebe Ya looked at the situation, wondering if he was trying to send her away, but seeing Jenkinson's serious face, it didn't seem quite like what she thought. So Bebe Ya hurriedly said goodbye to Jenkinson. And Jenkinson also promised that when Bebe Ya comes next time, he definitely won't be hiding anymore. Watching the little princess's retreating figure, Jenkinson thought, hoping this uneasiness was just a misconception. But just as the little princess had just left the flower field, Lisa Bell came in a panic to report something big happened in the palace. She stammered, saying that Princess Lillian suddenly vomited blood and fainted. Before she could react, Bebe Ya Lima turned and ran towards Lillian's room. The green tea spirit was poisoned, vomited blood and fainted, while the little princess innocently became a suspect. When she heard Lisa Bell say Lillian had vomited blood and collapsed, she hurriedly ran to Lillian's room to find out what happened. But when she arrived at the door, the guards blocked her outside. Although she shouted demanding the guards to let her in, she was told that by order of His Majesty, all personnel were forbidden to enter. The little princess pressed the guard. Does that apply to the princess too? I just want to know what's going on with Lillian. Just then, a pair of small hands pulled her from behind. Princess, I'll take you back now. It was Earl Pierce. He didn't say much, just directly pulled the little princess away. Walking to the courtyard, Pierce first apologized to the little princess, then said that Lillian was still in a coma, and it was said that someone suspected she had been poisoned. Bebe Ya was confused after hearing this, wondering who could have poisoned her. At this point, Pierce tremblingly stated that currently, everyone suspected that Bebe Ya had poisoned Lillian. Bebe Ya was instantly shocked, momentarily not knowing what to say. She asked Pierce, when exactly did Lillian faint? About an hour ago. Bebe Ya was helpless. In such a short time, she had already been labeled a criminal. Pierce quickly explained, Princess Bebe Ya would absolutely never do such a despicable thing. Just then, Lisa Bell arrived. These two really gave her a hearty laugh. Pierce told Lisa Bell to quickly take the little princess back to her room to rest. The next second, Bebe Ya suddenly grabbed Pierce's sleeve. Please tell me, does father think so too? Does he also believe I poisoned Lillian? Pierce narrowed his eyes. We can't be certain about that yet, but I believe His Majesty wouldn't suspect the little princess. After all, given the little princess's character, she definitely wouldn't do such a thing. The little princess looked at Pierce half-believingly. Really? 3 days had passed since Lillian was poisoned and fell into a coma. It was only heard that her condition had basically stabilized now, but there was still no other news. During this time, father hadn't come to see Princess Bebe Ya either. She wasn't sure if father was deliberately ignoring her. A few days ago, they were still so close. She had almost felt true father-daughter affection. Just as Bebe Ya was pondering, the room's door suddenly burst open with a bang. The emperor and 6 guards rushed in, shouting, quickly seize her. Bebe Ya and Lisa Bell, not understanding the situation, were frightened and at a loss. It turned out the emperor had found out that Lillian was poisoned after eating the cake Dolty had brought over, and he wanted to apprehend Dolty immediately. Just as the guards were about to step forward, Bebe Ya directly blocked them with her body, stating that before the truth was clear, no one was allowed to touch Dolty. She shouted like a madwoman, I am Princess Bebe Ya. Who dares to touch me? Just try it. The emperor was truly helpless seeing this. Why couldn't the little princess just cooperate with him? The emperor stared intently at Bebe Ya, seemingly trying to intimidate her with his stern gaze. Bebe Ya looked at her father's expression, thinking, that look he used to give Lillian. Is it my turn now? The emperor turned and ordered again to take Dolty away. Without further explanation to Bebe Ya, Dolty, hiding behind the little princess, said she never sent any cake to Lillian and was being wrongly accused. The little princess, of course, couldn't trust either side. If you want to arrest someone, then show the evidence. Seeing the little princess's obstinacy, the emperor flew into a rage, saying there was evidence, and there were witnesses. Please stop obstructing the arrest. Although the emperor had spoken very clearly, Bebe Ya still seemed unable to accept that her maid Dolty would poison Lillian, so she begged her father if he could question Dolty right here in the room, in front of her. The fact that the person who poisoned Lillian was actually Bebe Ya's maid Dolty was really hard for the little princess to accept, so she kept obstructing the emperor's actions. Bebe Ya was worried Dolty would be harmed, and requested the emperor to question her in her room. At this point, the emperor suddenly turned back and asked, was Dolty really wrongly accused? Now all the maids in Lillian's palace recognize you. What else do you have to say? Dolti explained tearfully that she absolutely never went to Lillian's palace, let alone sent her anything. The emperor became even more furious. Wasn't it you who, on Bebe Ya's orders, took the cake made by Lisa Bell and sent it to Lillian? Bebe Ya instantly lost her composure after hearing this. She never gave such an order. Someone must be plotting behind the scenes. Even Lisa Bell wasn't spared. It seemed this person was targeting everyone in Bebe Ya's palace. She explained to the emperor that she never ordered any cake to be sent, and Dolti might really be wrongly accused. But by this time, the emperor had no patience to listen to any more explanations, leaving with a, "We'll talk after the investigation is clear," and left after ordering the person to be taken away. Watching Dolti being taken away, Lisa Bell told her to trust the little princess, who would surely help clear her name. By evening, Bebe Ya was alone leaning on the windowsill when Lisa Bell brought some food. She asked Lisa Bell, why would they suspect Dolti? She even began to wonder if Dolti really did it. The little princess said she believed in Dolti's character, but wondered if this happened because of her. Lisa Bell advised the little princess not to think that way, saying someone might really be trying to frame her. The maid Dolti was wrongfully imprisoned, while the little princess was also under strict surveillance, not allowed to leave her room. Lisa Bell revealed to the little princess that Dolti had one trait: she wasn't a bad person, just often spoke without thinking, which made it easy for her to offend people. Lisa Bell recalled that when Dolti worked under Rydebel, something very bad happened, and they had a big fight over it. Hearing Rydebel's name, the little princess's heart skipped a beat. You mean Dolti worked under Lillian's birth mother? Lisa Bell confirmed to Bebe Ya. Yes. At that time, Rydebel was all-powerful, with considerable authority, but Dolti offended her, and as a result, Dolti had a very miserable time then. Bebe Ya broke out in a cold sweat, wondering if Rydebel was behind this too, but she shouldn't have that much power now. Regardless, the little princess was still very worried about Dolti. At this point, Lisa Bell suggested that after analysis, she felt the little princess was in the most danger now. After all, Dolti was Bebe Ya's maid, and people would surely say she was acting on the little princess's orders. Bebe Ya wanted to go find her father to help clear Dolti's name, but in reality, she couldn't even step out of her room. She was under house arrest. The anxious Bebe Ya paced in her room, unable to do anything, go out, or investigate. Lisa Bell brought the little princess a cup of tea, saying she wasn't allowed to go anywhere except the kitchen. The little princess then thought of her big brother. It had been 3 days, and he hadn't come to see her. Had even her brother abandoned her? Then there was a knock on the door. It was the butler bringing them food. But how could the little princess care about food now? She quickly asked the butler for news about Dolti. The butler, looking nervous, said, I personally believe in the little princess and Lisa Bell, but it seems others don't think so. The little princess was suspected by everyone. Could the appearance of another character prove her innocence? She lowered her head. Do father and big brother also suspect that I wanted to poison Lillian? The butler quickly replied, they firmly believe it wasn't the princess's doing. But those nobles, they all think Bebe Ya wanted to poison her family member, calling for severe punishment for the culprit. The emperor originally ordered Earl Tai and Leon to interrogate Dolti, but they declined citing conflict of interest, so Duke Hayes was chosen instead. The next second, Lisa Bell became agitated, cursing that old Duke Hayes had no right to suspect the little princess. Earlier, Duke Hayes had tried every way to prevent Al from working in the palace, just to get his own son in. Even worse, he wanted to marry Lisa Bell as his second wife, and his son wanted Lisa Bell to be his mistress. What an outrageous father and son. This shocking information left Bebe Ya stunned, completely overturning her views. The butler quickly stopped Lisa Bell, telling her not to tell the little princess everything. The little princess laughed awkwardly. Such scum should be dragged out and beheaded. But according to Lisa Bell's description, Duke Hayes should be someone who doesn't act without benefit. So why is he interfering now? Bebe Ya suddenly thought of someone. Lucas. Could there be any connection between Duke Hayes and Lucas? The butler looked thoughtful, stroking his chin, saying they not only had no relationship, but their relationship was actually very bad. When Lucas was seriously injured years ago, Duke Hayes advocated stripping him of his crown prince title, strongly supporting Prince Joshua as crown prince. Because of this, Duke Hayes made an enemy of the previous emperor's mother, although there was considerable enmity between them. This incident happened right after Lucas returned to the palace. At the same time, Duke Hayes reacted quickly, which really makes it hard not to think this affair is suspicious. The little princess was falsely accused and confined, and she suspected this matter must be related to Lucas, who had just arrived at the palace, and Duke Hayes, who suddenly appeared. They might be secretly colluding, hiding some unspeakable secret. The butler said the emperor was thoroughly investigating this matter, but there was no progress so far. During this time, Prince Lucas hadn't stepped out of his room once or met with anyone. The emperor had selected the most outstanding knights from the Red Wolf Knight Order to monitor his every move 24 hours a day, with no room for error. Bebe Ya questioned if there might be secret passages in the room. After all, that's how he escaped before. The butler shook his head, saying they had thoroughly checked everything before Lucas moved in, and found absolutely nothing. He comforted the little princess, saying that the truth would come out, and suggested she try the delicious food he brought. Bebe Ya's mind had already wandered, pondering the connection between Lucas and Duke Hayes. At that moment, she glanced out the window and saw a figure flitting by. It was Lucas. Lucas, realizing he'd been spotted, quickly ducked behind a pillar. Hearing Bebe Ya's shout, the butler and Lisa Bell suddenly turned around, but neither they nor the Red Wolf Knights saw anyone nearby. They all thought the little princess was seeing things. The little princess insisted she wasn't mistaken. It must have been Lucas. Bebe Ya ordered the butler to quickly check Lucas's room to see if he was there. Al went to Lucas's room and asked the maid if Prince Lucas was in. The maid shook her head, but for some reason, the butler told Bebe Ya that Lucas had been in his room the whole time. He even had someone go in under the pretense of bringing tea to confirm. Though the little princess trusted Al's words, she seemed to trust her own eyes more. After not seeing him for days, her much-missed brother finally came to visit her, which delighted the little princess. That morning, Bebe Ya sat on the edge of the bed, lamenting that her brother hadn't come to see her in days. The next second, there was a knock on the door. It was the little princess's long-awaited brother who had finally arrived. Bebe Ya put on a Sunere act, "So you remember to come." She teased that it would be better if her big brother never came. What a contradictory girl. Big brother pulled out a stack of papers, asking Bebe Ya to look at them first. He said he couldn't stay long, lest Father Emperor discover him and scold him again. Although Bebe Ya was reluctant to let him go, she had no choice. After all, she was under house arrest, and if she implicated her big brother, she would feel guilty. Seeing his sister's reluctance, Big brother rushed over and hugged the little princess, whispering in her ear, "Brother will definitely save you. My only little sister." Brother said he had been trying to find evidence to convince their father. If he insisted on convicting Bebe Ya, then he would take the little princess and run away. Big brother assured that as long as he was around, he wouldn't let Bebe Ya be harmed in the slightest. Bebe Ya was quite touched hearing this, and she gently stroked her brother's head, telling him things weren't that serious and she would be fine. Just as Big brother was seriously talking with Bebe Ya, there was another knock on the door. It was quite lively today. Who else could it be? Bebe Ya jumped off the bed to greet them, but was pulled back by her big brother. Urgently, he told Bebe Ya not to make a sound, and they hid behind the door to observe quietly. They saw Lisa Bell politely refuse the emperor, saying the little princess was unwell and had gone to sleep. Hearing it was the emperor coming, the two were at a loss. She told her big brother to leave quickly, or Father Emperor would really get angry. Due to the poisoning incident with Princess Ja, Big brother had come to give the house arrested Bebe Ya some inside information. Unfortunately, the timing was poor, coinciding with the emperor's visit. To avoid angering Father Emperor by being caught visiting the little princess privately, the crown prince came up with a plan. While Lisa Bell was still stalling the emperor, he told Bebe Ya to quickly lie down in bed, just go along with Lisa Bell's words and pretend to be sick. This way, the crown prince could say he came to visit his sick sister. When the emperor entered Bebe Ya's room and found the crown prince there, he angrily questioned why he was here so late. The crown prince explained that he heard his sister was sick, so of course he came to check on her as her brother. The next second, the emperor exploded with rage, cursing the crown prince, saying his actions were no different from Geno's. Both brothers were ignoring his words. At this point, the crown prince sarcastically replied, "Well, we are brothers after all." The emperor compared the crown prince to Geno while expressing his disappointment in him. He told Earl Tai to leave quickly, saying he wanted to discuss this crime with the little princess. Seeing this scene, the little princess suddenly felt all her previous efforts were in vain. Things had just calmed down, and now they were fighting again. The crown prince angrily said. The emperor clearly knew that Beibei Ya couldn't possibly have done such a thing, yet still put her under house arrest. What was the meaning of this? Previously, Lillian had done so many bad things with clear evidence, yet you never used the word crime. Now you're pinning this word on Beibei Ya. You still favor Lillian after all. After saying this, the crown prince plopped down in a chair, stating he wouldn't leave and whatever needed to be said could be said in front of him. This second direct confrontation between father and son left Beibei Ya disappointed in her father once again, since her big brother refused to leave the room. And taking advantage of his presence, Beibei Ya decided to speak frankly. She called out to her father, if the emperor had come here to demand she confess to her crimes, then he might as well leave now. She stated that she had done nothing wrong and had nothing to explain, whether to arrest and convict her or to leave the room. She told the emperor to decide quickly. At this point, the emperor suddenly changed his tone and asked, "Do you want to go out for a walk?" Beibei Ya was now utterly disgusted with the emperor. She said that after being confined for so long, wasn't it normal to want to go out? What the little princess didn't expect was that the emperor agreed without hesitation. Catching her off guard, she slid down and turned to lie on the bed, saying, "Thank you very much. If there's nothing else, please leave." At this moment, the emperor's expression showed some guilt. Hesitating to speak, the crown prince suggested, "Father Emperor, you should go back. Beibei Ya needs to rest." After they all left, Beibei Ya quickly got up to see what was written on the papers her brother had brought. It turned out that the crown prince hadn't rested for a moment these days, constantly following up on this case, interviewing many people, and even clashing with Duke Hayes. It wrote, Dolti fell into a coma due to torture, and the interrogation was forcibly terminated. Seeing this, the little princess didn't even bother to change her clothes and ran out to confront the emperor. She arrived at the emperor's room and saw him drinking tea as soon as she entered, igniting a surge of anger in her heart. The innocent Dolti was beaten into a coma, yet you're leisurely drinking tea here. She walked up to the emperor and shouted, "Dolti is now injured and unconscious. Tell me quickly if it's true." The little princess, hearing that her maid had fainted due to torture, immediately got up to seek an explanation from the emperor. But the emperor's attitude was indifferent, stating it was just a normal interrogation. After all, she was the prime suspect. Hearing such a response, the little princess couldn't help but explode. She loudly emphasized, "I am the one with the biggest suspicion, not a maid." Lisa Bell followed closely, explaining to the emperor, based on her understanding of Dolti, she would absolutely not do such a thing. The emperor's expression suddenly became serious, and he admonished Lisa Bell, "Watch your words. After all, you're also a suspect." The little princess couldn't bear to see the emperor falsely accusing people in her palace. She shouted at the emperor, "On what grounds are you pinning crimes on Lisa Bell again?" At this point, the emperor was nearly enraged. All the maids in the Losar palace have already come forward to testify. She already had a general understanding of the truth and told Beibei Ya that the results would be out soon. Beibei Ya folded her arms, "Since you already know what the truth is, then say it out loud. Shouldn't you give people a chance to explain?" The emperor put down his teacup and began to explain that the maids in the Losar palace saw Lisa Bell make a beautiful cake, and had Dolti give it to Lillian, saying it was a gift from Beibei Ya. As a result, Lillian vomited blood after eating it. After hearing the emperor's so-called truth, the two were stunned. Then they looked at each other and burst into laughter, leaving the confused emperor with a face full of question marks, even doubting himself, wondering if he had said something wrong. Beibei Ya wiped away her tears of laughter, recalling the scene when she first ate Lisa Bell's cake. It was so bad she wanted to vomit. Not only was the taste unspeakable, but even the shape was indescribable. Beibei Ya looked confidently at the emperor. "I know what's going on now. Thank you for this truth. It has given me a breakthrough in this case." When the little princess heard the emperor say that the problematic cake sent to Lillian was both beautiful and delicious, she immediately understood what was really going on. She told the emperor, "Go ask those maids in the Losar palace what the cake they saw looked like. Have them draw it. At the same time, have my palace maids draw what the cake looked like that day. Make a comparison, and it will naturally become clear." She seriously stated her position to the emperor. "You can take your time to verify this, but before that, please return Dolti to me." The emperor hesitated. After all, the truth had not yet been truly uncovered, but seeing Beibei Ya's confident demeanor, he finally decided to release Dolti first. Beibei Ya returned to her room, pondering life, when suddenly the door creaked open. It was Dolty returning. Seeing Dolty covered in wounds, the little princess was heartbroken. She asked Dolty to sit down quickly, saying she would get the medicine box to treat her wounds. Dolty told the little princess not to touch her yet, as she was very dirty. Lisa Bell said she had wanted Dolty to treat her wounds and change clothes before coming, but was afraid the little princess would be anxious waiting. The little princess held Dolty's hand, tears welling up in her eyes. Why change clothes? Do wounds that can't be seen not exist? She said Dolty didn't need to hide anything from her. As she turned to get the medicine box, Bebe Ya's heart ached. She kept asking herself, why did Dolty have to suffer this? Just because she was her maid? To change fate? Must so many people suffer because of me? Were they all living well in the original story? Rescuing the maid single-handedly, while Dolty was helping her get the medicine box, the little princess couldn't help but cry. She wanted to change fate, but it caused so many people around her to get hurt. But no matter what, she couldn't hand herself back to fate. By the time Bebe Ya brought the medicine box, Dolty was already resting on the sofa. The kind-hearted Bebe Ya insisted on personally applying medicine for Dolty, saying this as she picked up a cotton swab with tweezers. At this moment, Dolty sat up, having heard that the little princess had gone to find His Majesty to rescue her, and even guaranteed to the emperor that if she was really guilty, Bebe Ya would take responsibility. Dolty expressed that she was truly lucky to be Bebe Ya's maid. If given another chance to choose, she would still choose Princess Bebe Ya. Bebe Ya quickly said, she wasn't lucky at all. It was all because of her that Dolty was implicated. Seeing this, the butler Al was also deeply moved. It's not uncommon for palace maids to be punished for their masters, but Bebe Ya, who felt so guilty about it, was truly one of a kind. Then he turned to Dolty and asked, the emperor clearly didn't order torture. Who took it upon themselves to do so? It was Duke Hayes. Duke Hayes seemed to be in a hurry. She kept pressing about Bebe Ya's attitude towards Lillian, as if trying to find evidence of jealousy or resentment. Throughout, Dolty didn't say anything bad about Princess Bebe Ya, because she knew the little princess had never had such attitudes towards Lillian. Hearing it was Duke Hayes who unauthorized the punishment, Bebe Ya's instinct told her that this matter wasn't as simple as she thought. She ordered Lisa Bell, help Dolty back to her room to rest. Don't leave here for now, otherwise people will take advantage again. Learning that Duke Hayes wanted to get evidence from Dolty about Bebe Ya framing Lillian, she thought this person must not be simple. After Dolty returned to her room, the butler said to the little princess, she doesn't look like a 10-year-old child at all. Has she suffered a lot before, making her seem more mature than her actual age? At this moment, Bebe Ya didn't know how to answer, only to see her pout. No way. Bebe is still just a child. Indeed, the old ginger is spicier. Al's eyes are too sharp. She'll have to be more careful in front of him in the future. Then she waved to the butler and quickly slipped away. She returned to her room and picked up the note her big brother had left her again. From the note, she could see that her brother had become suspicious of Duke Hayes. Duke Hayes' territory is in the south, often harassed by neighboring countries, with small-scale wars frequently occurring on the border, and Duke Hayes has been repeatedly defeated. He has repeatedly petitioned the emperor for military support, but the emperor always tells him to resolve it on his own. On the surface, these investigations seem to have nothing to do with Bebe Ya being framed, but her brother wrote in such detail. There must be a reason. Could it be that at this crucial moment, Lucas reached out to help him, so they started cooperating for this opportunity? These things made Bebe Ya's head hurt. Although she had this idea, there was no evidence. She put down the note and walked to the window. Hearing Gilbin and Pierce quietly discussing something, the little princess really wanted to find out what they were saying, so she ran behind the curtain of another window, and heard, do we really have to obey the order? If the little princess finds out, she'll hate you. The little princess discovered one after another. It seemed that everyone around her was hiding something from her, planning something, which made her very anxious. Bebe Ya accidentally discovered that Gilbin and Pierce were secretly plotting something late at night in front of her window, saying something like the princess would definitely hate him. Bebe Ya clenched the curtain. Could these two simple guys approaching her have some purpose? After the two talked for a while, Pierce said goodbye to Gilbin. At this moment, Bebe Ya suddenly appeared in front of Gilbin. Who are you just talking to? Gilbin, who hadn't yet reacted, said, Your Highness, how long have you been here? Seeing this, the little princess could only pretend to be still half asleep. I vaguely heard someone talking outside, so I came out to take a look. Gilbin laughed awkwardly, saying the little princess must have misheard. No one had ever been here. Bebe Ya suddenly asked Gilbin, why are you still here so late? Are you here to monitor me? At this point, Gilbin dared not look directly at the little princess and said softly, "This is an order from above." Then he quickly added that he always believed Bebe Ya was innocent, and this action was really unnecessary. Back in her room, Bebe Ya pondered that although Gilbin had always been good to her, this time he clearly concealed something. Just then, a sound came from Lisa Bell's room. She saw the door was ajar, so she waited outside for a moment. Do we really have to follow Prince Eltarian's arrangement? Won't this hurt the princess? At this moment, a surge of resentment rose in Bebe Ya's heart. Why is everyone hiding things from me? What exactly happened? She decisively pushed the door open. What are you talking about? The next second, the two looked as if they had been scared out of their wits. The little princess pressed the two not to pretend to be confused. Their conversation had been heard clearly by Bebe Ya. What exactly did Big Brother instruct? At this point, Lisa Bell and Dolty looked at each other, not knowing whether they should tell the little princess or not. The conversation between the two maids was fully heard by the little princess. Under Bebe Ya's questioning, they still chose to conceal. Hearing the little princess say that if they still refused to tell the truth, she would go directly to ask the crown prince for clarity, Lisa Bell panicked. The crown prince had ordered them to keep it secret from Bebe Ya. Now it seemed they couldn't hide it anymore. Prince Eltarian was not in the palace. Seeing that Lisa Bell still refused to tell her, Bebe Ya asked Lisa Bell to follow her to her room, and didn't allow Dolty to come along. Lisa Bell, who was called out alone, expressed that she was really sorry, but they should wait for the crown prince to return and let him explain to Bebe Ya himself. The little princess irritably questioned Lisa Bell, who is really her master. Why listen to her brother's orders? Under Bebe Ya's repeated questioning, Lisa Bell finally told everything. It turned out that her big brother wanted to take Bebe Ya away from the palace. He asked the maids to be prepared, and he would arrange the rest. Crucially, he had already obtained the emperor's permission. Bebe Ya was shocked. Why leave? Isn't he a prince? Lisa Bell lowered her head. Prince Eltarian has voluntarily given up his position as crown prince, as well as all royal rights. Then Bebe Ya stood there dumbfounded, unable to react for a moment to her brother's act of giving up the crown prince position. Big Brother has been investigating the poisoning of Lillian all along. How could he suddenly give up everything and plan to leave the palace? Does this mean that the investigation results are very unfavorable to him? At this moment, Bebe Ya suddenly wanted to go outside for a walk, but since it was still dark, Lisa Bell planned to accompany the little princess. Unexpectedly, the little princess directly refused. You'd better stay and take care of Dolty. Just let the knights patrolling outside follow me. At this moment, only by seeing Jenkins would the stone in the little princess's heart be slightly relieved. She ordered Lisa Bell to stay and take care of Dolty, saying it was fine for Gilbin to accompany her on the walk. They arrived at the entrance to the flower field, just as Bebe Ya was racking her brains to find a way to shake off Gilbin. Unexpectedly, Gilbin spoke first. I heard only His Majesty and the princess can enter this place. I'll wait outside. The princess can take a rest. Bebe Ya said goodbye to Gilbin, and at this time, Jenkins had been waiting in the flower field for a long time. After a period of recovery, Jenkins finally returned to his adult form. He was seen manipulating the milk on the table with magic, and then showed Bebe Ya his constellation doll. The little princess curiously asked, "Why did you make another doll?" Jenkins said that since Bear Jing could freely leave the palace, it means that the magic surrounding the palace should be targeting him. If he changed to another form, he might be able to slip through. Bebe Ya picked up the teacup. Why did you suddenly decide to do such a dangerous thing? Jenkins didn't answer Bebe Ya's question at this time, but directly asked the little princess, "Your recent situation must be very difficult, right?" The gentle feeling in the air was gone. Bebe Ya sighed. She thought she could just live a low-key life. Who knew that suddenly a Lillian poisoning incident would pop up, and everyone unanimously believed that she was the mastermind behind it? Jenkins looked at the little princess with gentle eyes, saying that he absolutely believed in Bebe Ya's innocence because he knew the little princess's character. Seeing Jenkins's unconditional trust in her, Bebe Ya was very happy. However, looking at this identical face saying such things made her even sadder. The same face, but saying different things. Looking at Jenkins, who trusted her unconditionally, Bebe Ya's tears suddenly welled up. She wiped her tears while comforting herself. I thought I didn't care. Who knew my body was honest? Seeing the little princess so sad, Jenkins pulled her into his arms. At this moment, Bebe Ya cried out loud, "They don't believe me. No matter what I say, they still treat me like a criminal." Jenkins comforted Bebe Ya. "It's okay. Don't cry. After a while, the little princess calmed down. She looked up at Jenkins. "If only you were my father." Jenkins gently stroked Bebe Ya's little face. He sometimes thought, if he hadn't died, and Bebe Ya had become his daughter, perhaps the situation wouldn't be so bad. If that were the case, the real Bebe Ya wouldn't have to suffer so much. Jenkins squinted and smiled. "Why don't you just become my daughter then?" Bebe Ya also showed a long-lost smile. "That would be great. No need to worry about any divine realm. No need to become any sacrifice. I really wish I could live peacefully like that." Bebe Ya looked at Jenkins emotionally. "If there's a next life, I must be your daughter." At this moment, Bebe Ya suddenly thought of a question. She thought that since Jenkins was familiar with magic, he should know what this pattern means. Seeing the pattern, Jenkins immediately became serious. He asked the little princess, "Where did you get this from?" But Bebe Ya playfully said, "I asked first. Please answer me first." It was the first time Bebe Ya had seen Jenkins so serious. She realized that this pattern must be very important. She pondered, should she tell Jenkins everything? But besides him, who else could she rely on? "That book. I saw it in that book." When Jenkins saw this pattern, his expression became very tense. He asked Bebe Ya where she had seen it. Bebe Ya explained to him that it was from that mysterious book. First of all, Jenkins knew that the current Bebe Ya was not the real Bebe Ya. She said that when she first woke up in this world, there was a white kitten in her arms. Later, Bebe Ya brought this kitten into the palace, but at some point, the kitten disappeared and transformed into a book. That book contained everything that had happened up until today. She originally thought it was just a diary, but before she could finish speaking, Jenkins suddenly interrupted her. "Has the content inside changed?" As if someone was continuing to write this book. Bebe Ya was very surprised. She asked Jenkins how he knew. Jenkins frowned. "This is the ultimate curse, requiring all magical power. A magic that can only be used once. It's magic that transcends time and space, able to change the past and future. If it continues to take effect, the caster will die due to magical depletion." Jenkins asked the little princess, "Have you written on the book? You can try to ask him some questions. See what reason he had for handing this book to Bebe Ya. Perhaps you can really get an answer." Jenkins said, "That caster is a character existing in another time. He might come from the future. He said it's just a guess for now, but it's best to bring the book over for him to take a look." At this moment, Bebe Ya suddenly raised another question. "Is it possible for the same person to be in their room and appear outside at the same time?" Jenkins couldn't understand why the little princess would ask such a question. Something must have happened. He asked Bebe Ya, "Who is this person you're talking about?" Bebe Ya gripped her dress tighter. "It's Lucas." There were many suspicious points about Lucas. The little princess came to the flower field to seek Jenkins' advice. She couldn't understand how Lucas could be both inside the room and outside. At the same time, she asked Jenkins if he knew what was going on. He stroked his chin. "The royal family is supposed to possess dissolving power, not magic power. That's why Jenkins, who possessed magic power, was seen as an anomaly." Speaking of magic, there is a type that can manipulate shadows to create a doppelganger. But Lucas shouldn't have this ability, right? Because the two types of power cannot exist in the same person, unless there's one possibility. That is black magic. Black magic can be transferred to others afterwards, and the price is to give up one's original power or life. Does this mean Lucas exchanged his innate dissolving power for black magic? Jenkins told Bebe Ya that there's a way to prove if it's black magic. Black magic gathers light when implemented. He must be using it in the dark. If light is let in at this time, it will surely expose him. Knowing this method, Bebe Ya was planning to find an opportunity to expose Lucas. Then, Jenkins gave Bebe Ya a treasure. It was a glowing magic ball. If you press it hard before throwing it, it will illuminate a large area. Bebe Ya looked at Jenkins. "Can I also catch the person assisting Lucas in his crimes?" Jenkins said it's usually not possible, but there's a way to expose him. Jenkins said the flower field must be a place where the little princess can come and go as she pleases. There's always someone waiting for her here. Jenkins told Bebe Ya that if Lucas wants to use black magic, he must sign a black magic contract with his assistant. At the same time, the contractor's shadow will disappear. During the effective period of black magic, a fake shadow will be used to demonstrate. Once the black magic becomes ineffective, that person will have no shadow. Bebe Ya suddenly understood. This way they could naturally find that assistant. After solving the problem, Bebe Ya turned to leave. At this moment, Jenkins seemed a bit unhappy, complaining, Bebe Ya is so heartless. Leaving immediately after collecting information, Bebe Ya stopped. I heard only my father and I can enter this flower field. Indeed it is so. Because Jenkins doesn't want others to disturb him. The reason why Lisa Bell could come before but not now is precisely this. Jenkins said he once cancelled the magic for a while due to boredom, but Lisa Bell was watching the little princess too closely, so he turned the magic back on. This magic is really good for Bebe Ya. Just when she's being monitored and can't breathe, she can come here to relax. Was the monitoring ordered by Luoshuya? Bebe Ya helplessly said. Who else would be so bored besides her father? The father who once made her feel close now distrusts the little princess so much. Jenkins got a bit angry at this point. He told Bebe Ya, if you have any complaints, just tell Luoshuya directly. You should question him why he doesn't trust you. Bebe Ya smiled. She stroked Jenkins' face. It's enough that you believe in me. Learning that the current situation is very unfavorable to the little princess, the crown prince hurriedly came to find her. The little princess said goodbye to Jenkins and left the flower field. In a great mood, Gilbin sighed. This is indeed a good place for a walk. Then Gilbin hesitantly said to the little princess, please take care of Pierce. Bebe Ya, not understanding what Gilbin was saying, turned her head abruptly. What exactly is this thing at the end of your eyebrows? Seeing that Gilbin didn't want to say more, only begging the princess to agree. Bebe Ya, considering that Pierce often brings her snacks, still agreed, saying that she would help Pierce in the future if anything happens. Back in her room, Bebe Ya was flipping through that mysterious book, recalling what Gilbin hadn't made clear just now and wondering what it meant. Suddenly someone knocked on the door. She went to look, and it turned out to be her big brother coming over. Bebe Ya welcomed her brother to come in quickly, saying he came at the right time. She was just thinking about how to find him. Her brother was very excited. It was the first time he saw his sister so eager to see him. He sat down on the sofa. What does little sister want to ask me? Bebe Ya originally wanted to ask him directly if he had given up the crown prince position and wanted to leave the palace. But after thinking it over, she felt it was too abrupt. So she decided to ask about the recent progress of the investigation first. I heard that Big Brother withdrew from the investigation? Her brother's mood suddenly dropped. He came this time to talk to Bebe Ya about this matter. The current situation is very unfavorable for him. Although he withdrew from the investigation, it wasn't because he found anything, but because the emperor didn't want him to interfere. He told Bebe Ya not to worry. Big Brother would definitely protect his little sister. At this point, Bebe Ya couldn't help but beat around the bush, wanting to know if her brother had really given up the crown prince position. She asked her brother, I've heard that you've been going outside the palace lately. Is there something going on? It's already reached your ears so quickly? Seems like I don't need to hide it from you anymore. The crown prince said he had purchased a property outside the palace and invited Bebe Ya to live with him outside the palace. Hearing this, Bebe Ya widened her eyes, hardly believing that her brother would really do this. Hearing the crown prince personally say he was giving up the crown prince position, Bebe Ya could hardly believe her ears. The crown prince tried hard to explain. He knew that Bebe Ya had just entered the palace not long ago and was not willing to give up everything. But no matter what, the current situation was really dangerous. Seeing the crown prince avoiding the main point and answering questions, Bebe Ya asked him directly, is it just simply moving out to live? The crown prince remained silent for a long time. So you already know. But it doesn't matter. It's just giving up some privileges. Nothing big. At this moment, Bebe Ya was very angry and shouted, you're the crown prince, the future emperor. Do you know that you're giving up the entire world? The crown prince, however, seemed indifferent. For Bebe Ya, giving up the crown prince position was worth it to him. It's just because you're really too similar to her. She is your mother Shuele, right? Bebe Ya was now full of curiosity. You've mentioned this person before, but you didn't tell me who she was at that time. Big Brother stood up and said Bebe Ya was too similar to Shuele Na. Whether it's the fearless personality or the kind nature, they were extremely alike. Bebe Ya grabbed her brother's arm. If she knew early on, why did she dislike her so much when she first entered the palace? It's because, at that time, Bebe Ya's radiance hadn't shone through yet. She looked like a timid little stray cat, naturally not reminiscent of Shuele Na. Shuele Na was once the empress's maid, and also the crown prince's maid. She initially came to the palace to keep the empress company and chat. Later, as their relationship got better, she stayed by the empress's side, until the empress passed away. Shuele Na should have been free, but the kind-hearted she couldn't bear to leave the crown prince and Geno. So she chose to stay and take care of them. Because of this, the crown prince survived smoothly. When the crown prince was young, he was always blamed by the emperor for his mother's death. The little him had no defense, and no one dared to speak for him. At that time, Shuile Na was the only one who stood by his side. She boldly shouted at the emperor, criticizing the emperor for treating a child like that. Although the crown prince didn't know if father emperor fell in love with her from that moment, he was grateful. Shuile Na brought such a lovely sister like Bebe Ya into this world. The crown prince gently stroked Bebe Ya's face. Fortunately, her child is not Lillian. You don't know how disappointed I was originally, thinking how could that willful, arrogant, and impolite sister be Shuile Na's child. But it's good that you appeared. Bebe Ya walked to the window alone. So that's why brother wants to save me at all costs? Moreover, big brother doesn't know that the current Bebe Ya is not the real Bebe Ya. How could she accept her brother's sacrifice with a clear conscience? At this moment, Bebe Ya seemed to suddenly think of something. She turned on the desk lamp, took out that mysterious book, quickly wrote 3 big words on the book. You are, muttering to herself, not knowing if what Jenkins said about getting a response was true. Unexpectedly, words slowly appeared. You finally discovered us. I am you from another time-space. Then she wrote many more questions on the book, and the book naturally gave replies. According to the book, this world has been restarted 7 times, and the world Bebe Ya is in now is the 8th time. They inherited the memories of the previous worlds, but still couldn't change the course of history. The royal family was killed, the god descended, the world was destroyed, forever trapped in this cycle. So they found the ultimate curse, using this power to convey everything to the current Bebe Ya, because the 8th time will be the last chance. If Bebe Ya succeeds, the world will return to the right track, otherwise everything will disappear. The little princess's keen insight told her that there must be something wrong with this book. She looked at the replies given in the book, somewhat disbelieving, because they never mentioned Jenkins. But for Bebe Ya, Jenkins was a key figure. Bebe Ya had a sudden idea and wrote on the book, "You are another me from a different world, but you just said, we. Are there others with you?" The answer was surprisingly Lillian. Is it Bebe Ya and Lillian from another time-space wanting to change this world together? Bebe Ya picked up the pen and communicated with them again. Have you seen the god? But this time, the other side only gave 2 words, no. And then there was no more movement. The next day, Bebe Ya brought the questions and the book to Jenkins. I feel like the other side is lying. Even if they're not lying, they're deliberately concealing something. They only said they have memories of past lives, but didn't say how they know the future. They also said if I succeed in this world, they'll be saved too. Otherwise everyone will be doomed. How do they know this? Finally, they said they've never seen the god, which just sounds so fake. At this moment, Jenkins took out his constellation doll, named it Jenkins Baby. It's from the same series as Bear Baby. Then, he asked Bebe Ya to let him see that book. With a flash of blue light, he returned the book to Bebe Ya's hands, saying proudly, "Good, now he can't mess with it anymore." Jenkins told the little princess that he guessed the god who resurrected him and the god who descended the divine realm might not be the same one. Bebe Ya frowned. It's so complicated. Why are there so many gods? The next second, Jenkins patted his head. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't forget you still have me. I'm even more powerful than the gods. Jenkins was upset because the little princess initially didn't intend to take him along when leaving. As Bebe Ya was thinking about whether she could rely on this book to save the world and find the truth, Jenkins told her that his Jenkins baby was finally ready. Bebe Ya held Jenkins baby in her hand and said, "It's much more delicate than Bear Baby." Hearing this, Bear Baby immediately got jealous and jumped up anxiously. Bear Baby is the cutest one. He complained that his owner was biased. That doll's eyebrows are ugly. Why would the owner like him? Bear Baby looked like he was about to eat someone, scaring Bebe Ya into quickly moving her hand holding Jenkins baby back. At this time, Jenkins picked up Bear Baby and gave him a lecture. "This doll is made based on my own image. How can you say it's ugly? If you dare to talk nonsense again, I'll sew your mouth shut." Then Bebe Ya took Bear Baby and put him in her backpack, and said to Jenkins, "In a while, I might have to leave the palace." "What? You're running away again?" Bebe Ya quickly explained, "This time I might not come back. I'm going to live outside." Hearing Bebe Ya say she won't return to the palace, Jenkins couldn't help but cry. He asked the little princess if she didn't want him anymore, because the little princess only came when she had something, and ignored him when she didn't, and now she wanted to abandon him and run away. Bebe Ya really hadn't thought about taking Jenkins along. Now this was awkward. She didn't know what to do. Jenkins couldn't leave this place. Jenkins got even angrier. He asked Bebe Ya, "Have you forgotten about taking me to the market before?" Bebe Ya pointed to the palace behind her. "If Jenkins doesn't need to guard father anymore, then I can find a way to bring Jenkins along." At this moment, Jenkins was like a child, instantly beaming with joy. To turn the tables at the royal family meeting, the little princess closely arranged for people in the palace to get ready. Just as Bebe Ya was about to rest on the sofa, her brother suddenly came looking for her. His first words upon entering were, "In 2 days, everything will be over." Duke Hess officially requested Father Emperor today to hold a royal family meeting in 2 days. Bebe Ya pondered, "Does that mean they have results from the investigation about me?" Big Brother said, "The documents should have been compiled and given to Father Emperor. The key is the direction of their investigation, whether it has cleared your wrongful charges." Bebe Ya said while walking into the room, "They won't help me. Don't have any hope." Seeing his sister so calm, the crown prince told the little princess to pack quickly. He would arrange for Bebe Ya to leave the palace as soon as possible. Then the little princess called Lisa, Belle, Dorothy and Al to her. "The final result is about to come out. I want everyone to help me with something." She said that she had already explained some things to Father Emperor, then turned to ask her brother, "During your investigation of this matter, did anyone mention anything about the appearance of the cake? If not, that would be best." Bebe Ya was worried that if this crucial point was leaked, it would be bad if they unified their statements. She asked Lisa Bell to make another cake to show them at the royal family meeting that day. Lisa Bell was excited after hearing this. "I've been wanting to show everyone my cake." Dorothy also stepped forward and asked Bebe Ya what he could do for the little princess. He was told to just rest and recover. No need to do anything. If he really wanted to do something, then just accompany the little princess to attend the meeting. After all, those people would continue to suspect her if Dorothy wasn't by her side. After arranging for the two maids, she turned her gaze to Al, saying that she had been studying books about magic recently, and saw some content that she shouldn't have seen. When everyone heard the little princess say that while studying magic books, she saw records related to black magic, they were all shocked. Then Bebe Ya said she found black magic very interesting. Al's expression became panicked first. He told the little princess, "You must never learn that kind of thing." Afterwards, the little princess took out the 2 small balls that Jenkins had given her and handed them to Lisa Bell, explaining nervously, "These were given to me by a magician I once knew." The crown prince, hearing about the magician, became curious and said, "You haven't been tricked again, have you? After all, the fake float incident almost cost you your life." Bebe Ya brushed off her brother with a, "Can't tell you," and confidently told him, "Learn from mistakes. Don't underestimate me this time." The big brother really couldn't trust the so-called magician Bebe Ya mentioned, and insisted on knowing the name so he could investigate. Bebe Ya stared intently at her brother. "How should I tell you? This person is your uncle?" She had to say quietly, "If you're still worried, then find other magicians to examine those 2 small balls." The clever Bebe Ya immediately changed the subject, telling her brother, "I got a lot of intelligence from the magician. Want to hear about it? It's a secret about Lucas, although it's just speculation for now." Bebe Ya said she already had some ideas. She asked the butler, "You said Lucas never left his room, right? If there's nothing suspicious, was there anything that seemed strange?" Al thought for a moment and said, "When Lucas first entered the palace, he asked for thick curtains to be prepared. Actually, the curtains in his room were already thick enough, but he still requested another set. But then again, it's not a big deal." Lucas had asked the butler for thick curtains, which coincidentally confirmed Jenkins' guess. Al's trivial request became strong evidence for Bebe Ya to defend herself. The butler said he had been to Lucas's room several times, and it was pitch black inside. Although it seemed a bit strange, he later thought that maybe Lucas just didn't like light when sleeping, so he didn't think much of it. At this moment, Al suddenly remembered that once when Lucas wasn't sleeping, the room was still completely dark. When asked why he always kept the curtains closed, he calmly opened them. Before Al could finish speaking, the little princess shouted, "He's using black magic." The next second, 3 shocked faces appeared. The crown prince also knew that dispelling magic and black magic couldn't coexist in one person. Lucas, being royalty, couldn't possibly be involved with black magic. Bebe Ya's little head was spinning rapidly, continuing to plot the plan to expose Lucas's true face. She instructed the butler to find a way to go to Lucas's room and wait on the day of the royal meeting. She also instructed Lisa Bell to find an excuse about ventilation to walk to the window and throw the small balls out after receiving the little princess's signal. It will make a loud noise and bright light. After hearing the sound, the butler should immediately open Lucas's curtains, letting light in. When the light shines on Lucas, if he can't move, it proves he's a black magic caster, and the person being controlled will temporarily be freed from control. At that time, Al can bring the immobilized Lucas in front of everyone, letting them see clearly who the real mastermind is. After careful consideration by the little princess, they finally waited for the noble meeting. On this day, Bebe Ya arranged for the butler and Lisa Bell, then turned to instruct her big brother. She told him to be mentally prepared, because her sixth sense told her that the accused person might be their father. At this moment, the big brother looked panicked. How could father possibly be controlled? He asked Bebe Ya, besides Lucas, do you think anyone else was involved in this conspiracy? Although she couldn't be sure who cast the spell on him, what's certain is that the person who made a contract with him must have lent him their shadow. Is it Duke Hess, Lillian, or Lucas's maternal grandfather? They could all be Lucas's accomplices. Seeing Bebe Ya's thorough analysis, the big brother eagerly wanted to know, how can we find out who Lucas's contractor is? Bebe Ya's eyes were determined. Everything will go according to plan. Once the spellcaster is immobilized, that person's shadow will disappear. Lisa Bell and Dorothy nearby were trembling with fear. It would be terrifying if a person lost their shadow. So we just need to see whose shadow disappears. And that's the contractor. The big brother finally understood Bebe Ya's plan to prove her innocence. The rest was just waiting for the noble meeting to be held in a few days. Time finally came to that day. The emperor himself came to escort the little princess. Bebe Ya of course knew that Duke Hess would announce his investigation results today. But did the emperor need to come personally? Was he afraid the little princess would run away? The emperor extended his hand to invite Bebe Ya to go with him. But Bebe Ya walked right past the emperor. I can walk by myself. Lillian, feeling guilty, couldn't even look the little princess in the eye when facing the one he had wrongly accused. Appearing extremely nervous, the little princess ignored her father's invitation and walked straight past, leaving the emperor standing alone at the door. Considering Dorothy's injury, Bebe Ya told him to wait outside, but Dorothy was determined to be involved in the whole process. Bebe Ya turned her head and had to ask the butler to walk slower to take care of Dorothy. All the way, Bebe Ya felt uneasy. If she couldn't clear her name today, what awaited her would be death or separation. Although she might not be executed, she couldn't guarantee the same for her two maids. Thinking of Lisa Bell and Dorothy, the little princess gripped her dress tightly, determined to save their lives at all costs. Announcing the princess's arrival, all the maids stood up in a row to welcome her. The big brother had arrived early at the meeting room, and rushed forward when he saw Bebe Ya approaching. The moment she saw her big brother, the anxiety on Bebe Ya's face finally eased a bit. The big brother patted her head to comfort her. Don't be afraid. After all, you really didn't do anything. Just then, Father Emperor entered with the second prince and Lillian. The next second, the second prince naturally sat in the crown prince's position. The big brother had really given up everything for Bebe Ya. She came before her big brother, feeling complicated, not knowing how to speak to him. The big brother saw through Bebe Ya's thoughts and expressed that he didn't care at all. He longed for a free life more, and could surely survive even without the prince's identity. Bebe Ya glanced sideways at the second prince and Lillian opposite her, both becoming increasingly restless, as if telling everyone through body language how guilty they felt now. The green tea spirit Lillian had another devious thought at this moment. Seeing that Father Emperor wasn't acting according to her plan, he came up with such a low strategy. The emperor summoned all the maids from both princesses' palaces and ordered them to draw the same thing. He also stated that he wouldn't look at these drawings now, but would display them directly at the noble meeting later. Lillian hadn't anticipated Father Emperor would come up with such a strategy, and hurriedly asked what exactly he had the maids draw. At this moment, Father Emperor didn't directly answer Lillian, but promised to give him a satisfactory answer. Seeing the maids taking away the scrolls, Lillian didn't show any panic, but instead became increasingly calm. as if he had another bad idea in mind. Even the second prince beside him stared at him incomprehensibly, in disbelief. After the maids completed their drawings and had the knights collect them, the emperor had everyone follow him to the noble meeting room. At this moment, Father Emperor suddenly became strange. He suddenly asked Lillian, "Do you want a hug?" Seeing Lillian casually agree, Bebe Ya seemed to sense something too. After previous events, Father Emperor had clearly lost faith in Lillian, yet today he proactively offered to hug Lillian, which was indeed a bit unusual. Bebe Ya was lost in thought, suddenly feeling a bit dizzy. She wasn't sure if she was just too nervous. The emperor led the children in, and everyone started discussing. At this time, the emperor's face was expressionless, and he announced very seriously, "There's only one matter to resolve today." Then, he ordered Duke Hesse to present the investigation results. Bebe Ya stared intently at Duke Hesse's every move. So he was Duke Hesse, smooth talking, obviously not a good person at first glance. And the one sitting opposite must be Lucas's maternal grandfather Bevelogi, right? Duke Hesse shamelessly presented his investigation results, stating that he wouldn't wrongly accuse any innocent person, nor would he let the real culprit go. Lucas's grandfather Bevelogi and Duke Hesse were in perfect harmony, the two cooperating with each other. Duke Hesse's tone became firm at this point. According to his investigation, he found that from beginning to end, all clues pointed to Princess Bebe Ya. As soon as the investigation results were announced, the crowd below erupted, discussing how Princess Bebe Ya was actually a little beggar from the streets, only recently brought into the palace. Hearing the discussions, the emperor remained expressionless, seemingly not caring about this daughter at all. Only the big brother's anger value instantly maxed out. He shouted, "Bebe Ya's previous life has nothing to do with this meeting. Don't bring up useless things." Bebe Ya looked at her brother defending her vehemently, feeling even more heartbroken. "Well, if it isn't Prince Ortelian, I heard you gave up your royal status. Didn't expect you'd still be sitting here." The emperor interrupted Duke Hesse, telling him to stop wasting words and get to the point. Duke Hesse counted off the information in his hand. The cake was made by Princess Bebe Ya's maid Lisa Bell, and was delivered to Princess Lillian's palace by Dorothy. All eyewitness testimonies are consistent, so my investigation is absolutely fair. Although Princess Bebe Ya's motive can't be confirmed yet, I've heard that Bebe Ya has always been trying to harm Princess Lillian out of jealousy. Bebe Ya went to great lengths to drive a wedge between Your Majesty and Princess Lillian. For instance, the incident where Bebe Ya was pushed into the water by Princess Lillian might have been intentional, aiming to harm Princess Lillian. Bebe Ya's little universe finally exploded at this meeting. Hearing Duke Hesse distort facts and reverse black and white, the little princess couldn't help but laugh. At this moment, the emperor suddenly turned his head and asked if she accepted this investigation result, and if she had anything else to say. Since Father Emperor asked, she might as well seize this opportunity. The little princess stated that she had never been jealous of Lillian at all, but rather it was Lillian who had been trying to drive her out of the palace from the beginning. Bebe Ya was merely protecting herself. If it were as Duke Hesse said, "When Your Majesty disliked Lillian, why would I repeatedly urge you to go see her? When Lillian first fell into the water, why would I go to save her? I didn't even tell Your Majesty that Lillian was the real culprit. I thought this matter was over, but in the end, I didn't expect to be questioned by everyone. What's the use of saying more? Who would believe me now?" Bebe Ya turned to Duke Hesse and questioned if the results he just presented were all investigated by him alone. "Please clarify. Who were the subjects of the investigation? Surely it wasn't just the maids from Lillian's Losar palace who are in the same boat as her." Seeing Bebe Ya mercilessly expose his little trick, Duke Hesse instantly broke down, stuttering in response, "There were others too." Bebe Ya continued to press, "Who are these others? Please bring them out. I want to hear it directly from them." At this moment, Duke Hesse suddenly burst into laughter. He claimed that Bebe Ya was from outside the palace and didn't know the rules, that they needed to protect the witnesses. With this, it seemed Bebe Ya's proposal was not feasible. Bebe Ya's action was about to begin. Seeing that she couldn't outargue that old Duke Hesse, she turned to Father Emperor for help, asking if he truly believed Duke Hesse's investigation was fair. The butler handed the documents to the emperor, who then very nervously said 2 words, "It's fair." Father Emperor's behavior was full of suspicion. This perfunctory manner, does he really not care about me anymore? Or is he being controlled? Bebe Ya suddenly raised her head to look at Lisa Bell, signaling her to take action. After receiving the signal, Lisa Bell quietly left while no one was paying attention, preparing to act. At this time, Duke Hesse was still looking smug, urging the emperor to quickly make a conclusion. After all, the testimonies in the case are consistent. Bebe Ya's motive is clear. There's no need for others to argue anymore, right? At this crucial moment, it was still up to Big Brother. He stood up to refute Duke Hesse. If this is all the evidence you can provide, then let me now bring out the drawings we just collected. The controlled emperor suddenly paused when he heard those words. He didn't remember asking the maids from both sides to draw pictures. The crown prince noticed that when Father Emperor mentioned those words, he was stammering, as if deliberately concealing something. The controlled emperor, in order to hide his true identity, hurriedly ordered the knights to distribute the drawings. Then the crown prince instructed that they should be distributed to both sides separately. Seeing the drawings, the two groups had very different reactions, arguing heatedly. One side said, "The drawing is very good. It looks delicious," while the other side said, "This cake is simply a mess." The crown prince interrupted their conversation, ordering the knights to collect the drawings from both sides and show them to His Majesty.